Tampa Bay.
And here we go.
Now your hosts, Pat Donovan and Aaron Jacobson.
Good morning, goons. Happy Thanksgiving Eve, as we are all excited for Turkey Day, Ham Day, whatever, however you eat and you fill your stomachs on Thanksgiving. We're excited for you, and I'm excited this morning. It's not just me, Aaron Jacobson, here. It's not just Casey Warner here. Yeah, we're sans Pat Donovan. He's out, but my dad's here, Jake Jacobson. Good morning, Dad.
Good morning.
You're good. You're right.
All is good.
Yes.
It's. I consider this. I'm going to proclaim this day Thanks Daddy Day, the day before Thanksgiving. What do you think?
I've told you this before.
What?
Do not use that word on this show.
Thanks Daddy Day.
No, the middle one.
Daddy.
That one.
What?
I hate that.
Thanks Father's Day.
Thanks
But
Father's Day.
is
How about Thanks Dad Day?
Okay.
Why does it have to be Daddy Day?
Fine.
That makes me uncomfortable to start the show.
Fine.
Makes me want to hide under the desk.
You got a whole week basically of me today.
Better
tomorrow,
make me a lot of your
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Jake Teenies all weekend long.
I'm assuming most of the listeners, the goons out there, are probably in the same situation that we are in, whether they're with family or friends or whatever. It's going to be a weekend of football, food, fun, a lot of F's in there.
Alcohol for some.
Absolutely, and maybe a round of golf or two.
Yeah, I think we're going to do at least one round of golf, maybe two. That would be great if we could sneak another one in. Casey, you want to make my dad excited? He doesn't know this is coming. You want to hit him with it?
Hit him with
You know what to hit him with.
What am I? Oh, the rejoin?
Yeah, hit him with
The rejoin?
Hit him with one. Get him psyched for the day.
Let me hear.
Yeah, hold on. I got to get that pulled up.
Oh, Casey.
All right, hold on.
Hit him with it.
You're listening to the Dad and Aaron Show on 95.3 WDAE and AM 620.
See, but it says
How
Dad.
about that?
And the people in production, they love when you come in. They have that ready. They're excited. But we'll keep it as Dad Day. We have a lot to get to today.
Yeah. By the way, if you're out there, look, it's still dark out. You got another, whatever it is, 45 minutes before the light comes up. Driving in, be careful. It was like driving
Pretty
in
scary.
a tunnel.
Good. You know what? Good job, Dad.
Why?
I sometimes forget when things like that happen that we should alert people on the road. You know, people are getting up. They're driving in early, too.
Absolutely.
It's a really good point today.
Because it was like driving in the Midtown Tunnel in New York. You could not see anything other than the cars in front of you
It was
or
bad.
the side. Yeah.
If you want to watch us live on YouTube, you can watch. You can see my father. You can see me. I just got an early morning text from your wife, from my mother.
Yes.
What the F are you wearing?
Who?
Me.
I was going to ask you that when I saw you in the hallway, too. That's a nice little cactus you got
That's
on your
right.
shirt there.
I know you like this, Dad.
Or cacti, I'm sorry. Cactus is plural.
How could you not like this?
You know, I can't even believe I didn't say anything to you this morning. Maybe I was in a total fog like it is outside. But, yeah, it's kind of wacky shirt, but I like it.
I like
it.
It's
a holiday spirit kind of black,
How?
red,
It's a
white.
cactus.
Well, it looks like snow because the cactus is red and white. I don't, you know
It's
what?
like you know what? I got this shirt at like a little vintage store, and I like it.
What did they
I like
pay
the
you to
feel of
take it?
What do you mean? I paid to take this.
Why would you pay anything for that shirt?
I like this shirt. You don't
All
like
right.
this shirt? Casey, what do you think of this shirt?
Case?
I think he's on the phone right now.
All right.
Should I just take it off? I don't know.
No, it just gives me a Christmas, which is fine. If you want to go in the Christmas holiday spirit, because we are in that round now from Thanksgiving to Christmas, it's good. It's fine.
You can watch on YouTube. You can watch on.
How do I look, by the way? Because
you know what I'm realizing? It's not switching over to you.
Purposely?
I don't know if we've been having this problem if this continues, but let me try to figure this out here. Yeah, it's not switching over to you. That's a problem.
That's right.
All right, we'll figure that out. Hey, we got a lot to get to today. I don't even know where to start with you because we've got, of course, the stadium news with the Rays, which Sunday, the ultimatum for the Rays to get back and put in writing.
They're coming up this Sundays.
This Sunday is the deadline where the county commission has said, Kathleen Peters, the chairwoman, has said, you need to let us know what your intentions are by Sunday in writing. In writing. You need to let us know if you want to move forward with this or if you want to terminate the agreement. And if they terminate the agreement, it means the Rays aren't going to be able to profit off that land in the future, that redevelopment deal. Now, if the Rays say we are going to go forward with it. The ball is now in the Pinellas County Commission's court. So we'll keep an eye on that. But that, of course, is the ultimatum. I'm calling it Sunday.
This whole thing that has started, a few years ago. What are they going to do when the contract runs out with Tropicana Field? It's driving everybody crazy. Why does it have to get this far? Why are we in this position now when we thought, months ago, that everything was on the go and we were going to start breaking ground the whole thing?
Everybody is asking the same question. Everyone's
This is
asking
insane.
Everyone's in the same spot, man. We've been dealing with this for over a decade here in the Bay Area.
Never ending.
And hopefully we at least get a little more answers and a little more clarity on Sunday, or at least by Sunday. And we'll let you know. We're out tomorrow and for Thanksgiving and Friday. But check our socials. We'll let you know on anything you need to know. So then the other big news for the Buccaneers, Jordan Whitehead thankfully avoided season-ending surgery, so maybe get him back before the end of the season, maybe get him back in time for the playoffs or a last-ditch effort or run to the playoffs.
They still got something in. That division is still up for grabs.
It is.
And they got 2 games against Carolina, who are playing much better now, but they should win those games. This thing's not over yet, but I don't think the Whitehead thing is that big a deal.
All right, so I agree to an extent. First of all, they got Mike Edwards back, former Buccaneers. Mike, he used to be with the Bucs. Now he's back with them, Mike Edwards, and that's a big move. But Jordan wasn't the same guy, or at least this year he hasn't been the same guy playing alongside Antoine Winfield Jr. as he was before New York.
And I was going to say, he had the good year in New York, and then the last 2 there weren't so good. That's why the Jets were more than, and you know where the Jets are now, were more than willing to let Whitehead go back to Tampa Bay. So Again, he's not a great player.
No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that about Jordan Whitehead. I think he is. He's a hard-hitting player. I think he, in the right situation, he's the right fit. He is good for a defense. This year, he hasn't been great for the Bucs.
Tackles, not a great tackler.
A lot of people on this team are missing tackles.
Well, that's true.
And they're also struggling to get to the quarterback. And we've talked about that on this show. Shaq Barrett, that was the big news yesterday. He has decided to, and we remember in the summer he filed for retirement. He signed with the Dolphins and then didn't even play, but he wants to come out of retirement, and if he's reinstated, he goes right to the Dolphins. He's got a contract with the Dolphins. So the Dolphins have had some issues with injuries to pass rushers, but the Bucs have had no pass rush, and now Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, JTS, not that he's a huge factor, he is injured now. So I'm guessing they have to. We've heard Dad Shaq said he only wants to come back to play for the Bucs. If he were to come back, it would only be to play for the Bucs. So
why did he sign that contract before retiring with the Dolphins then?
Money, probably. Money.
And if you look at the Dolphins now, and you could see the importance of Tua being a part of that team, because they were god-awful during his,
he was out.
They were bad.
They sucked. It just goes to show you how important a quarterback is.
And then when we talk about MVPs and we get into the running back situations, which will be part of today's show, it shows you it's very hard to take an MVP away from a quarterback, because no matter how you look at it, the additions of great running backs can help so much. We see with the Buccaneers now with Irving and White and Tucker and all that. The bottom line is, you don't have a quarterback, it does not matter. And Tua has done a spark to the Dolphins and put him back right into the playoff race.
The MVP conversation is so dumb to me, because it is, and we're going to have it today, and it will be a interesting yet dumb conversation. I shouldn't say dumb. It's moot. It's pointless, because you get to the conversation of who is the most valuable player. And to your point, you take Tua off the Dolphins. You saw what it was.
They're bad.
You take Patrick Mahomes off the Chiefs. We haven't seen it, but we know what it is. They're not winning those close one-score games that they're winning this season. So you can make the argument that's the MVP. But I think if you see it, like, let's say the Dolphins make a run to the playoffs here. If you see how bad they were, which we did, without Tua, and then he comes back still probably dealing with concussion issues, how could he not be?
Right.
And drives them to the playoffs, right there and then, based on that storyline alone, the numbers wouldn't indicate that you're the MVP, but that storyline of most valuable players. So I think it's the most pointless conversation, and we're having it right now. I think you look at
Well, it's out. You read the papers every day. They're talking about Saquon Barkley because he is having a phenomenal year after coming from the dreadful Giants to the Eagles, which are definitely contenders. What he has done for that team this year, you have to put him in the category of MVP candidate. But still, the bottom line is it goes to the quarterback.
Yeah.
It runs,
It's a quarterback
everything
award.
runs through the quarterback.
Yep,
Yes.
it's quarterback award.
When was the last time a quarterback didn't win the MVP in the football?
We were talking about Justin Jefferson came close
Great
to winning
receiver.
it. Great receiver.
But
Had
if he
an
doesn't have a
incredible
quarterback to
season.
throw him the ball, you're not going to get it.
Casey?
Pretty sure the last one to win it was LT in 2006.
Was it?
Yeah, I think it was. AP came close in his 2,000-yard
Tomlinson?
season.
I feel
Yeah.
like Christian McCaffrey has come close. I feel like
Cooper
Cooper
Kupp came
Yeah,
close.
Cooper Kupp.
I gotta say, I think it's LT.
That
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp season.
That's what
But
I'm
then
saying.
again, it's a quarterback's award.
What do you have,
It's-
140
He
something
had the
catches that year?
triple
And
crown.
yeah,
Yeah,
he was insane. Yeah,
Yeah.
he did. It was insane.
If he didn't have these injuries the last couple of years, this year as well, but
Him and
what a-
Puka.
just phenomenal.
Think about how dangerous that
Yeah.
Rams offense
Yep,
could
yep,
be.
yep.
Puka Nacua.
listening to the Dad and Aaron Show on 95.3 WDAE and AM 620. Top headlines.
That's right. Time for today's top headlines presented by Mark Spain Real Estate. And don't forget, win tickets to the Pro Cup happening December 12th to the 14th at Innisbrook Resort in Palm Harbor. Watch legends like John Smoltz, Jerome Bettis, The Bus, Jeremy Roenick. They're going to be challenging each other like never before. Register to win tickets at 953WDAE.com. I'm laughing because I told my dad before the show, my dad's sitting in today.
Yes, what?
I told you that you would be playing something on your phone throughout the show. I'm hearing something.
I hear nothing.
I hear it.
Do you hear that?
Oh, yeah, very faintly.
What?
Are you watching us on YouTube right now?
I am. Oh.
That's probably what
Dad,
it is. There we go.
Got
You've
it.
never failed to amaze me.
You said that the YouTube wasn't picking me up, and I wanted to see if that was the case, and I'm not on the screen here. What's the story?
You left
People
your
want to know.
volume. All right, here you go. There
People
you go.
say we look similar, and nobody gets a chance to do that if they don't see me.
You're on the screen.
I don't see it
You're
yet.
going to be there in a second.
All right.
It takes a little second. You're going to be a star. You watch that? A little fade. You
star.
see it? It came over to you.
I still don't have it on my
You'll
screen
see it
there.
in a minute.
All
then.
right.
You're a star.
Oh, by the way, before we get into any major conversation, I know we got the headlines with Casey. We were talking about MVPs in football, and quarterbacks usually dominate that. The last time a non-quarterback won the MVP in the NFL, Adrian Peterson, 2012 with the
Peterson
Vikings.
did. Okay.
Sometimes
Wow.
they call him Dad. Sometimes they call him Jake. Other times they call him Google Man.
All right.
Thank you. I have lived Google Man since the early 2000s when it came into existence, and it has saved my life and made me look and sound a lot smarter, as you know, than I actually am.
Let's not go that far. Do you see yourself on YouTube?
I do.
How do you look?
I'm not a very good-looking man.
You look fantastic.
I have aged horribly.
Whose shirt is worse, mine or my dad's? Your shirt's nice. People are giving me crap about my shirt. Here, we'll switch back to my shirt here.
Did you get that in Arizona?
I did not get it in Arizona.
You got
I like
that here
this
in
shirt.
Florida?
Yeah, I like
All
this
right.
shirt, man.
Wow.
I got no shirt under this shirt, so I can't take it off at this point. All right, what are today's top headlines, Casey Warner?
Oh, first things first, the rich get richer, and Blake Snell's second attempt at free agency has gone much better than his first. Last offseason, Snell settled for a 2-year, $62 million contract with the San Francisco Giants. He opted out after this season, and he has now agreed to a 5-year,
Unbelievable.
$182 million deal with the Los Angeles Dodgers. It includes $52 million in a signing bonus and some deferred money, according to the LA Times.
How many players out there, especially the pitchers, guys that are in that category, the Corbin Burns and stuff, or even the lowercase of Sean Manayers that are out there, how happy are they what just happened with Blake Snell?
Can you not bring up Sean Mania, please?
I waved at his door this morning when we were heading out.
He did. He's been so embarrassing. If you missed it, if you haven't heard this, Sean Mania, of course, of the Mets, he's my neighbor. I didn't recognize him at all. First thing I asked him when he told me he moved
really
from New York.
seriously, that is
I
just embarrassing.
Thank you. The first thing I asked him when he told me he moved here from New York was, is he a Mets or a Yankees fan? And then I found out later from my neighbor that Sean Mania, I'm an idiot. But yeah,
Give Sean some credit that he didn't say, "Oh, by the way, I pitch for the Mets."
he is a guy who
Very
is
humble.
so
He is.
humble and modest. He didn't say anything.
The New York press loves him, and you know from the day that you found out or saw him crying on the air.
I know. I cried with him.
He's a good guy. He really is.
He is a good guy.
I
and
hope the
we
Mets retain him.
We were talking about playing golf, but and now I freaked him out. He probably never wants to play golf with me again. But my dad, Casey, it's been so annoying. Like, we got out, we were going to dinner last night. We get out of the door, and my dad starts saying, like, you gotta rectify this. You gotta knock on this door. I'm like, our walls are thin.
I was going to say, you
they
probably
can
heard
hear
him.
you. Yeah.
All right.
Imagine sitting in your apartment and you can hear some dude outside your apartment going,
I get
"Hey,
it.
you should knock on the door and talk to him and tell him to sign with the Mets."
What's
Like,
funny is like, aside from the lady that told you he lived there, like, we're probably the only people that knows that he lives there.
yeah,
It's
and
like
he probably
it's
does.
like a big deal to us, but nobody else cares.
Look, he's
you know, like-
6'5", and he's a big man.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
Big man. But
Big
I do
guy.
look forward to you rectifying the situation. But as far as Blake Snell
But
is
99
concerned,
walks in his Cy Young year. Blake Snell, maybe now because he'll have the full spring training Blake can be a good pitcher at times. He's also wildly erratic.
A good pitcher at times. He's won 2 MVPs. Look at the second half he had.
He's won 2 MVPs. He's won 2 Cy Young.
That's what I meant.
But he's honestly been in the conversation. He's gotten votes for MVP, which...
Think about the second half he had last year. The guy can be a stud. He's somewhat of a head case. He does get injured. He is getting older. That's the thing. He's 32 years old, and he gets a 5-year guaranteed contract, 182, as Casey said, and a $52 million signing bonus. It's worth $230 million, and I don't care if he's deferred some money and all that. The fact is, the Dodgers just don't care. Give him credit. You're a Dodger fan. You got to love this.
No credit. No, it's BS. It's annoying at this point. The luxury tax means nothing now.
It's like the NBA. It's like super teams are starting to just be the norm.
You're right, Casey. But in the NBA, the luxury tax is like you can't really. There's a salary cap, and you can't avoid it. With Major League Baseball now, there's no salary cap. You've got these owners coming in that have billions of dollars, not here in Tampa that won't spend the money. You've got owners that now Shohei Ohtani, the contract, the deferred payments on that, they're avoiding luxury tax. It's they're circumventing the system. And what's the point of having the system at all? They did it because of Steve Cohen and the Mets, and the Dodgers are somehow figuring this thing out, and they're the ones that are spending all this money and getting all these stars.
And they would have no problem if they really want to spend the $600 to $700 million that it's going to take to get Soto. They can do it. They will make the money they made just on Ohtani, on all the memorabilia and merchandise and all that, has paid dividends for them. That's why they can go out and spend $182 million or $230 total with Blake Snell.
Good luck with Blake Snell. I've said it before. I'll say it again. The worst Cy Young winner that's ever won the award. He had 99 walks when he won it a couple years ago. Have fun.
What was
that.
his ERA?
It was under 3.
Man, how many innings did he? The thing we all know about pitchers these days, if they can get to 200 innings, it's considered, oh my God, he's reliable. He's out there going 6-7 innings.
180 that year.
It's just
104 last year.
We talk. Dwight Gooden back in '85 when he won, he had 260 innings, something like that. I mean, it's just a different age. Guys are making money and they're pushed to go 6 innings and then call it a day.
I guess that's today's top headlines. We ran out of time. Anything else?
We'll squeeze this in real quick. We got the college football playoff rankings that were released last night. Your first round buys in the projected bracket.
Let's do that as a tease, because I actually want to do that on the other side. I think it's a good topic on the other side. I saw that. I'm very confused by this. So, Casey, you can help me out. I know my dad can't help me out with it because
don't even look at me.
It's confusing to me. I know you can't comprehend any of it.
I'll have opinions, but don't look at me for answers.
Yeah, like how do they determine who gets a first round bye, Dad?
Division conference.
Today's
winners.
top headlines presented by Mark Spain Real Estate.
WDAE and AM 620. Powered locally by Ferguson HVAC. Switching it up today, Dad and Aaron. This is Tampa Bay's Sports Radio. 95.3 WDAE and AM 620. Streaming live on the iHeartRadio app.
I mean, look at that.
What are we looking at?
You got your own little bumper. You got your own rejoin. Let's go.
Was that James Berlander who put that together?
Yeah, man.
I love him.
He's the best.
And Casey hitting the buttons over there. I love him, too.
You love him, don't you? You love
Buttons
everybody.
for days.
I do.
Yeah, Pat's out today. My dad's in. Casey's in hitting buttons for days. And we got the college football playoff. The latest brackets are out, and I am very confused every week when these come out.
I don't understand how.
It's crazy. Before we do that, log on now to the contest page at 953WDAE.com. Your shot to beat the pro this Friday on The Drive, where you could qualify for a 5-night stay in an oceanfront suite, plus airfare, food, and a free round of golf at the Buccaneers Resort in St. Croix. Hit it up right now, 95.3 WDAE and AM 620. It's every week I'm confused by this thing.
And everybody should be. I am a fan, okay? I know I've done sports radio back in the day, and I fill in here occasionally for Pat to work with you, my son, and I love it. I do not understand. I just want to take the 12 teams that are there, conference winners, I get that, put them in automatically and go from there. I don't understand what teams might make it, even though another team might be better. I don't get it.
Might be ranked higher, is what you mean. Like, there might be a team that's ranked 12th that doesn't get into the playoff.
Right.
All right, so the way it is now, Casey, why don't you run through it? And remember yesterday I said to Pat, I was like, look at the sneaky Arizona State team getting in, and they're in it.
Hey, they're good.
They're good.
They're a good team.
Sneaky. Weird ending to the game last week, but sneaky.
But the great thing about college football this year, and you can add, look, if there were 4 teams less, it'd be wild. Now that there are 12 teams making it, it's still going to be wild because there's so many good teams, but I don't think there's anything that's over, amazing. The fact that
I think Oregon and Ohio State, to me, have been the most dominant teams. And think about it, Ohio State's only loss was to who? To Oregon.
Oregon. Mm-hmm.
And didn't Oregon win the other last week or 2 weeks ago, 13-10? I'll check the schedule there. I think it was a 13-10, a close game. It's up for grabs. There's no, to me, dominant. It's same thing with the NFL. You can look at Detroit. You could say Kansas City. No, the Chiefs are not a dominating team this year, despite their record. I love the fact that there's so many options here for teams that can win this whole thing.
16-13 against Wisconsin. That Wisconsin team hung in there. So what? Like that happens sometimes.
The conference road game.
Alabama, 3 losses, gets clonked last week against Oklahoma. What was it, 24-3?
What is clonked?
3 points.
24-7.
Clunked. I don't know. They had a clunker.
Yeah. Clunked. Okay.
Will Alabama, if they run the table now, are they going to sneak themselves into the playoffs?
Not. They better not. And that's what everyone, I think, is worried about. And I believe a 3-loss team could get in here. Now, you've got 3 SEC teams that are in right now: Texas, Georgia, Tennessee. So I'm sorry. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yep.
There's no. This is very bizarre because you've got the first round matchups: Arizona State, Ohio State, Tennessee, Georgia. How about that SEC matchup to start off? Indiana, Penn State. Now, Indiana lost against Ohio State last week and looked horrible. You and I watched that game together, Dad. They couldn't get anything going. So they haven't had a real heavy schedule, except Ohio State was their chance to at least hang around and show they could compete. They didn't do that. And SMU, Notre Dame. The first round buys, this is where everything gets so confusing. Boise State, Oregon, Miami, Texas are the buys right now.
And you look, I'm not a big fan of Florida, and that, if you know the history, great. If you don't, I'll just tell you it has something to do with Steve Spurrier and my disdain for him. But the fact is, the last 4 weeks, Florida, the Gators are playing as good at football as anybody in college football right now. Langway has made such a difference. Napier has turned this program around. You wanted him firing in the first 3 games of the season. Now you got to feel lucky you have him.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's kind of like with Norvell, the opposite, though. Like Norvell, they're not playing for him at FSU, even though they won last week. They're not fighting for him, and they're absolutely fighting for Napier and an amazing turnaround, and it's all spurred by Lagway. He should always be the guy. He's the guy. We saw, you and I were watching that game last week. I mean, the plays he was making, extending plays when he looked like he was down, those are the gamers that you go, okay, he's going to be able that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it translates at the next level, but right now at this level, it's early for him, but he's so young, but he's shown the stuff that he can lead a team and really help this team out moving forward.
No doubt.
I don't know when it comes to the rankings, though. I feel like there's no way this is how it's going to be at the end of it. It never is.
Oh, it's
something's going to shake up.
Still a long way to go.
Big 12 could be screwed. Honestly, that's what it's looking like right now.
Like, could the Big 12 could be screwed? You're
It's a bad
right.
conference.
They're only going to get one team.
Arizona
as of
State
now.
right now is the only one in, and then Clemson is that third ACC team going to be left out? I think this is a very telling game. What do they have? South Carolina this weekend. That's a very telling matchup. That's a noon game on Saturday. That's going to be a great game. Two top 25 teams going head to head. So I think Clemson could very well find themselves in there with a couple good with a good win here. South Carolina, that's a 3-loss football team, but they're trending in the right direction.
And any given day, South Carolina can win against anybody. They have that type of offense. Explosive.
If a 3-loss team gets in, are you going? And it would be an SEC team without a doubt. There's only one conference that could get a 3-loss team in, and in my mind, it's the SEC. And is it going to be a 3-loss Alabama team? Is it going to be a 3-loss Ole Miss team? Could it be a 3-loss South Carolina team?
Look, you were talking yesterday, I get to hear you briefly in the morning when I'm heading to work, and you were talking about the eye, what you see.
The eye test.
The eye test is legit. And I could, to me, give me the brackets, and I'll set it up because you can look at the records and all that, but it's like Penn State. They have one loss. Do you think Penn State is a one-loss team this year, even though that's their record? The fact is Penn State isn't as good as their record. And there are a lot of teams like that. Then there are teams that have 3 losses. Take away Alabama because they have not looked good overall. But there are 3-team losses like South Carolina. They're probably better than their record.
You could say the same thing about Miami, who's played close games. One-loss team, has a Heisman Trophy contender in Cam Ward, but they also...
Who have they played?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like some of the games they let Louisville get back in the game. There's so many games you watch where it comes down to the wire with Miami, and you're like, all right, well, they're number 6 in the nation, but the eye test tells me against Texas, they're going to get crushed.
Yeah. And I look at Notre Dame. Not a great schedule.
The clunker.
Yeah, the clunker.
As you say.
And then they play Army last week, and Army, of course, undefeated going in against Notre Dame. And what happens? Notre Dame.
How about the Navy game? How about the Navy Notre Dame game? Notre Dame crushed them. So yeah, I mean those are 2 top 25 teams at the time, and Notre Dame took care of business.
I'll be very curious when Notre Dame plays a really top tier, and not take anything away from what Army has done this year, and even Navy and that game that you'll be heading to in a couple of weeks to see those 2 teams play will be very intriguing. But the fact is, I want to see Notre Dame play a real heavy-duty top 10 team.
I gave out. I'm doing a parlay of the day every day. I'm putting it out on at Jacobson on air. I did the first one yesterday, just a 2-teamer. Lost both legs. I felt bad. I gave out. I gave out the Lakers last night, the play-in game. We got to get to that too. Stupid floors. You were mentioning this morning
crap.
the courts.
Dumb,
We
stupid.
got a lot to get to today, Dad. We got a lot to get to today. You can watch us on YouTube. We're streaming 95.3 WDAE.
to the Dad and Aaron Show on 95.3 WDAE and AM 620.
Welcome back. Yeah, Dad and Aaron Show today. That's right. Pat Donovan is out. My dad's sitting in.
I love this. I love being here with you, Casey, the goons listening all over the Tampa Bay area, and maybe going down to Sarasota and going north to Tallahassee. I love this stuff.
How about this? I'm thankful for this.
Yeah, very thankful. There you go. Thanksgiving Day. That's all about thanking and having thanks for everything in our lives.
It's all about thanking. Thanksgiving Day. Hey, Casey, Thanksgiving Day is all about thanking.
And thanks to the turkeys who gave up their lives to keep us satisfied on Thanksgiving.
You got to appeal to everybody.
That's right. You go to everybody tomorrow and you say thank you. You just
It's
say
true.
thank you. Don't say anything else after that. Just simply say thank you.
They'll get it.
You can watch my dad right now. I'm just keeping the camera on him because he's a specimen. So you can watch that. Just go to stud, specimen, whatever you want to call him. You can go to YouTube. Just search WDAE 95.3 WDAE. I really don't know what to search yet. We got a YouTube page. But when you find it, subscribe to it. We got a lot of people watching right now as those people have found it. So you can find our new page. Make sure you subscribe. I was just looking. We were just talking about Blake Snell a little while ago. The Rays rotation, we keep saying, Pat and I have been saying how dangerous the Rays rotation is going to be when they get their guys back healthy, especially Shane McClanahan leading the way. But I'm looking now with Blake Snell, the addition to the Dodgers. And granted, I'm not the biggest Blake Snell fan, but when he doesn't have to be the ace, I mean, listen to this rotation. For 20, this is the, I know. I totally get it.
Throw Ohtani in there as well, of course.
Yeah, let's start with that. Okay, this is the possible Dodgers rotation in 2025. Shohei Ohtani, Blake Snell, Yamamoto, Glasnow,
Oh, God.
Kershaw.
Well,
Not that Kershaw's the same guy, but as a number 5, why not? Why not?
Because they have Bueller. Is Bueller still on the team?
I don't think. No,
I think they release him?
I don't think Walker Bueller's going to be a part of the Dodgers moving forward.
It doesn't matter. They got 4 studs
they got
right
great
there.
bullpen guys. Dustin May, guys like that you can, who Gonsolin. They got a really good bullpen as well.
If Glasnow can stay healthy, and that's been an issue for him the last couple of years, he did sign the big contract with the Dodgers
It's
2 years ago.
always the question mark.
How
with him.
quickly will Ohtani get back in the groove as a pitcher and hitter? Because it's going to be difficult for him to adjust as from a DH to a DH/pitcher.
Speaking of difficult, will it be difficult for the Buccaneers to get by the Panthers on the road this weekend? I think earlier in the season we were overlooking the Panthers. More people I talked to, and the more people that I've heard from the Goons are like, don't overlook the Panthers. I think we all get it. I think we understand that the Panthers have been playing much better football. They were very impressive in that game against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Bryce Young, maybe the benching was good for him. It got him a little reset.
I think so.
And he has looked good, not great, but good since he's come back.
More confident in his abilities. He's not throwing the ball too early. He's waiting a little bit longer, and he's being able to make some moves to open it up the offense a little bit.
There's something to be said to the F-it attitude. There's nothing to lose. Yeah. And I think maybe that's part of it, is there is nothing more to lose. It's why if you and I were talking about the Cowboys and the Giants game tomorrow, because, of course, the first thing my dad and I talk about when we wake up at 3:45 in the morning is what are we betting on this weekend for Thanksgiving games? Of course, naturally. So we're talking about that Cowboys-Giants game, and you want to bet the Cowboys.
Well, look what they did against Washington, and look how the Giants fared against the Buccaneers.
But the thing I'm worried about is, so we don't know if Tommy DeVito is playing. He's got a sore arm and sore feelings after that Bucs game. But there's something in my mind about if Drew Lock ends up starting that game. He got demoted from the second string to the second string. He didn't move, and the third string, I don't know if that's a demotion, but the third string jumped ahead of him. So if you're Drew Lock, who's making $5 million a year to be a backup, I would say that's an F-it game. Go show him, right? And I think there's something to be said about that, and I think that's something that Bryce Young is kind of playing with right now, that it doesn't matter. I've already been benched. People already don't believe in me, so let's just do it.
I I think Carolina can play a good game at home. But the way the Buccaneers looked last week, everybody gets on Todd Bowles. Get rid of him. He's done after the season. He's a decent coach. Is he a top-tier coach? No. But he was trained under Arians, who was one of the better coaches during his days as the NFL coach and, of course, of the Buccaneers. And he's a solid guy. And I think the players, he might not be an emotional guy, Bowles, as we know, but the players like him. They like playing for him.
They love him. I think the best thing you can say about Todd Bowles is you said he's a solid guy. He's a good guy.
He is.
Like, he's a really good guy.
Tony Dungy type of nature.
And he got it done in Indy, but Tony didn't get it done here. It was John Gruden with a totally different type of nature who got it done here. Now, granted, with a lot of Tony Dungy's roster, but I'm seeing rumors of Bill Belichick to the Bucs already.
Please stay out of Bill Belichick's way. Just let him go into pasture and, sayonara, man. I'm done with Belichick.
Let him go to pasture.
Yes.
You don't have to send him out to pasture.
Send him to pasture.
I enjoy watching his analysis.
Leave
on
him there.
games.
You're right. He's smart. Look what he did to the Patriots after Brady left, where Brady wins a Super Bowl with the Buccaneers, and every move that the Patriots had done when he left, I'm talking about Brady, was not a good move.
It's a good point you make, because with Belichick, it doesn't just come a new head coach. It comes a GM, essentially. And I know myself, and I know Pat, and I'm sure a lot of people listening, I love the job Jason Light has done. And I know him and Belichick know each other, Jason Light going back to New England days. But I also, and if anyone, I think Jason Light is one of the best, and it's very underrated, this aspect of Jason Light's GM game, if you will, is his ability to manage personalities. And when I say manage personalities, it's not easy to have Tom Brady coming into town. And I think the way he worked around Tom Brady and Bruce Arians and big personalities, he's one of the best. The transition from Tom Brady to Baker Mayfield, seamless. You had a new offensive coordinator in Dave Canales, and by the way, will be going up against the Bucs as the head coach of the Carolina Panthers this week.
And that gives the Panthers a little bit, not an edge as far as they're going to win the game, but the knowledge that he has against the Bucs.
I don't give Dave Canales an edge at all. The fact that Dave Canales got a head coaching gig after 1 year with David Tepper, my gosh, running that organization, and he has not done a good job. I mean, it's tough. He hasn't done a good job.
He hasn't done a bad job. Look at the difference the team Panthers have this year compared to last year. Much better.
They're definitely fighting. They're not lying down, but you look at what Liam Cohen, and once again, talk about Jason Light. What a job. You go out and you bring in Liam Cohen. Unbelievable, and listening to his quarterback and Baker and the relationship and understanding, not just bringing in a name. He was a no-name. Bringing in a guy that made sense for what you're trying to build. That's where Jason Light doesn't get enough credit. And I think a lot of us are happy today watching on Sunday, realizing that we'll have Liam Cohen on the sidelines and they have Dave Canales on the sidelines, because the Bucs offense wasn't really doing much last year.
I just to get back to Belichick for one second.
You can't quit him.
Well, I want to, for people listening to me talk about him, you would think that I hate him. No, I think Belichick is the greatest coach in my lifetime that I have seen. What he has done. Forget the fact that, yes, he had Brady, but he had guys playing out of position. He would trade guys who you think they were in their peak of their careers and bring in nobodies that made a big difference in their team. He is just, to me, past the prime in this day and age of NFL football. And it's good to hear him because he can break things down like nobody else, but let him do it in the broadcast booth and not on the sidelines.
You're probably right, but I think he wants to give it another go. I think that's what he wants to do.
And which team will give him that opportunity?
Somebody will. Somebody will. They will want to, the namesake. I mean, maybe the Raiders will do it. Tom Brady now going into town. Who knows? There's somebody will take a chance. People are watching on YouTube. You can watch it. I just have the camera set up on my dad, 95.3 WDAE. Somebody likes my cactus shirt. I'll put it back on my cactus shirt for a second so you can see it. Somebody likes my cactus shirt. So there you go. Mom, Dad, you've been making fun of me.
Well, I wasn't that bad. Mom might have been. It's all right.
Bruce on YouTube in the chat. I'm reading the chat. I'll get interactive with the chat here in a little bit during the break. He said saw your dad at the Serving Spoon last Saturday morning. I was at the Serving Spoon, wasn't I?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. No,
last Saturday, or was it? Yeah, I was there with you guys.
And he saw me. And
he saw you, but not me.
Why didn't they come up and say hello?
I don't know, but I was sitting there too. Bruce, you saw both of us. And I looked just like him, just a younger version. So I'm shocked you didn't see both of us.
Bigger, better looking than me.
By the way, great breakfast. Fantastic breakfast.
Really good.
Got a text from my mom. Of course, if you're just joining us, my dad's sitting in with me today. She said, I so love it when your father isn't here. 2 hours of sleep. Carpets are shampooed. Like, she's sick, man. She's sick.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go home and I'm going to get some mud on my shoes and sneakers, and I'm going to stomp through the house.
No, you will not. I know
I
you
will not.
You will not. Are the Rays getting screwed with the schedule?
DAE St. Petersburg, an iHeart radio station.
Aaron Jacobson, Pat Donovan on vacation. My dad sitting in, Jake Jacobson. What's up, Dad?
What's up, the sky?
What's up, Doc?
I don't
No,
know.
that's not as
You're coming to me for what's up?
Yeah, what's up? Good morning.
Good morning.
It's 7 o'clock hour. New listeners coming in. They got no idea. They're just joining us. What's up?
I'm curious if the outside, because I mentioned this earlier, if you were driving in the dark and, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, how hazy it was. Very difficult to drive, like driving in a tunnel. Hopefully the haze has lifted. And
go look outside real fast.
I'm going to do that.
Take a quick peek. Take a quick peek outside. You come back, you report back, and let us know. While he's doing that, Casey, I got somebody who just texted in the line. He wants help on fantasy football. He wants Zach. I'm terrible at fantasy football. He needs one of these three: Zach Ertz, Keenan Allen, Jordan Addison. Jordan Addison's getting hot. They were feeding the football. I'd probably go with him.
Yeah. I don't like Keenan Allen against the Lions. I mean, the Lions are just dominating recently. Zach Ertz gets a lot of targets, but he just doesn't put up big numbers. I mean, he's worth about maybe 10 points a game at most.
Jordan Addison went off. He gained a little
he's got
confidence.
the most upside, I think.
All right, Dad's back.
It is bad out there. Wow.
It's bad.
Good
I mean,
report.
I looked out the window. You can't see more than a couple of feet in front of you.
You really can't. You can't see signs. Like, it was creepy on the way
be
in.
careful out there.
Somebody texted in still hazy out there. I hope you're not driving while you texted that because it's very bad out there.
Could be looking out his window, like I just did here at the Clear Channel Studios.
Could be doing that. iHeart. Unbelievable. Yeah, formerly known as Clear Channel. That's all right. Hey, do you want to build a Goonie Boy parlay, a parlay of the day? What we do is we let listeners call in. You got to call in 888-546-4620. 888-546-4620.
Can I shoot him down if I don't like the pick?
That's the rules of the Goonie Boy parlay. Is what they know. They can't bet against the Knicks. You can't bet against USF. There's rules to it.
All right.
And and you can't bet against the Bucks. Aside from that,
What about the Lightning?
you can't bet against the Lightning.
Okay, so any home team,
Any home teams or
and the
teams that
Knicks.
I root for,
Okay.
yeah. You can't bet. You can't put that in there. But
Fair.
anybody that calls right, isn't that fair?
Yeah.
But the first 5 that call in, whatever they give me, I put it together in a parlay, and I have to ride that parlay out. But here's the deal, Dad.
Yeah.
If you commit to this now, verbally, it's like the Rays having to do it. Actually, I'm going to make you do it in writing, like the Rays have to do by Sunday. If you commit to this in writing that you're going to be a part of the Goonie Boy parlay, I have to watch you in your book on your app. You have to put the bet in.
Fine.
You have to. You
Fine.
cannot deny
But
the people.
Do you understand, though, that might be, people used to love to hate Howard Cosell, but they would listen to him because they hated him.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe somebody doesn't like you and they want you to lose,
I
so
know.
they give you a pick that they know is going to be a loss.
I've factored that in. And that person,
have?
I have. And if that person wants to be a jerk, fine. But sometimes, you know what? They're bets for a reason, and you may not win it. It might go against you, and it might help me win a parlay.
Well, think of it like this. If you don't like Aaron, try to like me. I'm old. I'm past my prime. I get an opportunity to sit in with my son, which is great to do this. Thank you, Pat, for allowing me this. And iHeartRadio, the hierarchy, for allowing
Good
this.
save.
But, my money is dwindling, and I'm trying to save enough.
You
so
had a rough week.
Oh, awful week.
It was terrible. It was hard to watch you.
Awful week.
And you're not a chaser, but like you were up a lot of money so I watched the chase. You're like, I'm gonna win a big one.
I went from 4, and again, I'm only betting 5 and maybe sometimes 10, and I increased it to 10 or 15 because I was up over a couple of years, $443.
Now keep in mind what he just said, people. He's been riding this out for a couple of years.
Yeah.
He's never not pay out. He's been riding this out to try to get this
I
money.
might have paid out a little, $50 here, but I'm up $443. I think 2 or 3 weeks
I
ago.
saw it. I saw your account.
I'm down to 47.
Yeah, man. You had a rough go. Listen, that's how it goes.
I
sometimes.
tried everything. I'm trying these parlays to try to maybe $5, $10 wins me 150, things like that. I put a 10-point teaser together, which means you can take 10 points either way on 3 teams. And I picked the games that you think without question you're going to win this. I put $25, $30 on it, loss. Like Washington, the Commanders this week, if they win that one, it's a difference of $50.
They screwed a lot of people. No, listen, they're called.
That was the special teams, the kicking, it was so crazy a game to the way it ended last week.
They call them teasers for a reason. Somebody texted in from the 727. I know it has to be a call-in, which, good, you know the rules. It's absolutely true. But I'm not able to do that right now. But my pick for the parlay would be a Mike Evans anytime touchdown.
Why not?
I love that. I love that. Getting him involved again. They started to get him involved last week, coming back from the injury, going up against the division rival, the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, somebody has to call in and give me that one. In the meantime, we got a couple here. If you want to call in, 888-546-4620. Let's go to Ben in West Chase. What's up, Ben? What do you got for me? For us, I should say.
Morning, guys. First, I'd like to say your dad and you guys are cohesive. It's awesome. It's cool to be able to listen to you guys, on the drive into work this morning.
Ben, this is good. So you like us. So you want us to win money. So we're going to accept your pick graciously.
I like where you went with that. You like us.
You got a little Rock Riley in you, and it sounds pretty cool. Man.
Everybody says that, and I'm honored to be compared to Rock because he's a terrific broadcaster and a great guy.
It's funny. I was talking to my dad during the break, and I'm like coming up with an idea. I want to get some content with him and Rock together. I think the people would love that. So, all right, Ben, appreciate that. What do you got for us today?
Yeah, super simple tonight. We got the Lightning hosting Washington. We're going to go Lightning money line to start it off.
Lightning money line. I love
I'm
it.
in.
I love it.
Good.
Listen, I love what they did against Colorado the other night. Hopefully they can ride that momentum.
That was 5 goals in the first period.
Yep.
Insane.
Hagel with 4 assists in the first alone. Thank you, Ben. Hey, happy Thanksgiving, buddy.
Yeah, but
Yeah, you as well. You guys have a good one. Take care.
all right, Lightning to win the game outright against Washington.
The best thing about this job, and this is why you'll only hear me bring people on to do a full show with me, to put the show in the best position to be entertaining, I should say. Pat and I have been doing radio together for about a decade. He's my best friend. So it's easy to do radio. You and I, like, literally, I told people, we woke up this morning and you're like, hey, Giants, Cowboys, I think I'm betting the Cowboys. Like, this show is us just talking the way we would talk on a Saturday.
Absolutely. Look, I love hanging out with you and, of course, your brother as well, because we do love our sports and
Good
we love
save.
our food.
Good save with Josh.
Well, I love my sons. And I love when we go on the golf course, because if we go early mornings and we got a whole afternoon slated of football games or whatever, that is our conversation. Let's play some golf and let's talk some sports.
Love it. 888-546-4620. We got the Lightning money line. Robert in Tampa, what do you have for us?
I got Lightning.
Yeah, we already
I
have.
got USF.
Okay.
But you already got Lightning?
Yeah, we
All
got
right, so
Lightning.
Definitely got USF.
USF money
And
line or point spread? I think
I'm
they're
gonna say straight up win.
all right. Yeah, I think they're 5-point favorites last I checked against Rice.
Do you like us?
They're gonna straight up win.
Do you like us
I love you
personally?
guys, man.
Okay, good.
Look,
All right.
I've been listening to you guys since you were on Saturdays. When you were on Saturdays, when you moved to the big time.
All right, thank you, Robert. You're an OG goon. Really appreciate it. Have a good Thanksgiving, bud.
All right.
Hey, you do. Thank you very much.
Thanks, bud. So USF is,
I get why you're asking if people like us, because you want to make sure they're.
yeah.
But it sounds weird. Do you like us? Do you really like us?
I'm good at judging people, whether when I meet them, whether they actually are into me or the people I'm with or not. So far, we're 2 for 2. I like what Robert had to say. Ben certainly love these guys.
How much does it kill you when you get the vibe that somebody doesn't like you?
I'm trying to figure it out on the spot and fix it.
Yeah, that's right. On the text line, happy 40th birthday to Aaron and Holiday. Aaron, who's been listening to the show for many years, happy birthday. Have a great one and enjoy your
Sure.
Thanksgiving
Yep.
as well. All right, we'll continue to take the picks. We got Lightning and USF money line. We got local picks right now. So people are going to have to spread the love and spread around. Maybe we'll get a Buccaneers money line. Maybe we'll get a Mike Evans anytime touchdown, because I do like that one if someone wants to call in with it. So we'll take those calls, 888-546-4620 if you want to join the show. Plenty coming up here on the show. I do want to remind people, log on now to the contest page at 953wdae.com. Your shot to beat the pro this Friday on the drive, where you could qualify for a 5-night stay in an oceanfront suite, plus airfare, food, a free round of golf at the Buccaneer Resort in St. Croix. So go to the contest page now, 953wdae.com. And on the other side, one former Buccaneer came out of retirement yesterday, and he said he would only come back to the Buccaneers. Is that going to happen? Will that come to fruition? Also, want to get into this conversation, too. Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, all having unbelievable seasons. Are they changing the conversation around
high. A message from the Florida Department of Transportation.
It's the Dad and Aaron Show. 95.3 WDAE and AM 620.
Welcome back. Yes, that is my dad, Jake Jacobson, sitting in with me. Pat Donovan on vacation. Aaron Jacobson here. Casey Warner as well. We're building up a Goonie Boy parlay. Freaky 5, if you will. 5 bets. The first 5 to call in and give me the bets. I got to take it. Dad is contractually obligated now, kind of like we'll find out with the Rays to their stadium on Sunday in writing. I know that he is going to be taking the
Lightning.
The Lightning.
Money line over Washington, USF money line over Rice.
Those are the first 2. Let's get 2 more, and then I want to get to the Shaq
I thought
Barrett
we're going
news.
5.
Well, we have 2 more on the phone line
Okay.
now, and then we'll get 1 more. 888-546-4620. Let's go with Skip in Ruskin. Is this Skippy the Goon?
This is Skippy the Goon.
Skippy the Goon. Pat was very excited to see you over the weekend at Meat and Bone.
Yes, sir.
Skip,
Yeah, we talked about you a lot, man, but that's okay. You don't have to worry about that.
Skip, do you love me?
I actually, you can confirm this with Pat. I said it's the best style radio show in the morning when Pat's on vacation.
Pat did say that. He said that on the air. That's right. So there you go, Dad.
All right,
There's your flowers.
Give me a winner, Skippy.
All right. So this is going to be unpopular pick, but I'm going to take the Raiders plus whatever points they got. The Chiefs have not. I think they've only covered 1 time this year.
You got to
And
think.
I don't know why the Raiders score the points they do, but
12 and a half.
Can we talk through this, Skippy, before we do this? Okay. Before we do this, I just want to talk through this with you. And then I'll let you. I know the rules, but and if you stick with it, I got to take it. Gardner Minshew's done. So I don't even know who's playing quarterback for them, to be quite honest.
Desmond Ritter.
That dude.
Egads.
Maybe Aiden O'Connell is up in the air right now.
Check that for me, Casey. Let's get the information to Skippy, because I agree with you. Kansas City's not dominating games. You have to think at some point, though. Even Patrick Mahomes said it last week after the win. He's like, "No, I want to draft kids."
Due for a blowout, no question. And the Raiders are rivals.
Yeah, I forgot. I thought Minshew was pulled because he got pulled up. I didn't know he's out.
No, he's hurt. So I'm going to leave it up to you. If you want it in, you can. But I just wanted to give you that information before you locked it in.
Think about my retirement money, please, Skip.
Yeah, he's down to $40-something.
All right. Shoot.
No, it's all right. So if you want to cancel it, how about this, Skip? I'll reserve a spot for you. You do a little research. Give me your best pick, and let's throw it in.
It's up in the air right now.
Yeah, it's up in the air, and that pick's up.
They haven't announced who's starting yet.
All right. Tell you what. I'll change it. Detroit minus the points. How's that? That's a better one.
All right. What's the points in that game? Yeah, I like that. Much better one.
6.
6?
Yeah,
Done.
yeah.
There we go. 6.
I think it's 6. I don't remember that it's moved or not.
All right. Detroit spread.
I'm all in that there, Skip.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That's a safe bet. It doesn't seem like you did a lot of research into it, but it is a safe bet with Detroit, and I love you. So it's fine.
No, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. I had the Raiders because the Kansas City's blown all my bets this year.
No, listen, Skippy, you've been loyal to me. I'll be loyal to your bets. Have a great Thanksgiving, my friend.
All right, you too. All right, bye.
On the text line from Tiffany, Skippy screwed you. No, he rescinded. All right, let's get a couple more. Let's round this up, and let's talk about Shaq Barrett. Let's go to Brian, who's in Rochester. Maybe get one of those delicious garbage plates that my buddy Jeff Single has introduced me to. What's up, Brian?
Hey, happy Thanksgiving. I love the fact that you and your dad are doing the show. What a way to, spend the holiday time. You guys are great. Hey, I'm a big University of Miami fan. I'm going to the game in Syracuse on Saturday.
This is a dangerous game.
Yeah,
this is be careful with this one. This is dangerous. I see where you're going with it, but hey, you make the pick, Brian. It's your floor.
Listen, I'm a realist, and even though I love my Canes, I realize that they haven't been winning very convincingly this season. If I read the spread correctly, they're giving Syracuse 21. I'm taking Syracuse with 21 points. I think Miami's going to win, but not by 21.
I actually really like that. I like where you went with that. I was scared you were going to go the other way. Dad, would you agree with that?
No. Look, they're playing in Syracuse in the Dome.
It's actually 10.5 points. I was going to say 21.5 is a crazy number. 10.5 points.
Okay. So I read that wrong. I'm still going to take the 10.5.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a 7-point game.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that.
I got 11 here.
All right.
Either way, it's a half-point
Let's call
difference.
it 11 because I might buy a point. Let's
Look,
call it 11.
Syracuse is 8-3. They should be able to give Miami a game.
Agreed.
Would I take Cam Ward over everybody on Syracuse? Yes, and he'll probably win the game outright for them. But it's a decent spread, and that's fair.
Appreciate you, Brian. Have a great Thanksgiving, my friend.
Hey, you too. Yep, enjoy.
Thanks, bud.
Thank you. All right,
Appreciate the love.
One more to round it out. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Kevin in Tampa, the final one to round out the 5-team Goonie Boy Freaky 5 Parlay Thanksgiving edition extravaganza.
Say
Kevin.
that 5 times.
I
Yes.
will not.
Yes.
Good morning, Kevin.
Hey, take the Gamecocks plus 2.5.
Okay.
I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. South Carolina, that'll be a fun game over Clemson, nooner on Saturday, plus 2.5. Let's roll. Love it, Kevin. Hey, have a good Thanksgiving.
Are you going to eat Dachos by any chance over the weekend?
Oh, this is my guy Kevin. I was looking on Facebook to see if there's anything going on. Do you know of anything going on? I didn't see anything.
I haven't looked yet. I'm going to be out of town until Friday, but I don't know.
All right.
We'll see.
I know you were out at Meat and Bone as well, and you saw Pat, so appreciate you stopping by.
Great.
All right, so
thank you, Kevin. Have a good Thanksgiving, man.
People trying to put money into their retirement fund and all that, here is your 5-pick parlay, courtesy of the Goon Squad.
Yeah, and I'll post this at Jacobson on air and on social media in a little bit here.
Lightning Washington, money line, take the Lightning. USF, money line against Rice, take USF. Detroit lay the 6 on Thursday. Tomorrow's first game at 12:30 against the Bears. Saturday, Syracuse plus 11 against Miami, give or take, which it could be 10.5. And South Carolina, one of the more intriguing games, take 2.5, get 2.5 against Clemson.
Thank you to everyone who called in. We'll get that out on socials in a little bit. But before we do that, Casey, there was an interesting interview a little while ago from Shaq Barrett with Kay Adams up in Adams. And when Shaq went on with her, he said this.
One scenario that might be able to bring me out of retirement, like a perfect scenario.
Whoa.
But I don't think it's going to happen. So, and I'm not expecting it to happen.
What's the perfect scenario?
I mean, if it happened, I'll let y'all know, but I don't want to put it out there. And no, I don't, because I'm really happy with my decision to not play football no more. But yeah, it's one perfect scenario that could happen.
Like, okay, at least tell me this. What is it with a specific team, or is it just like any team that's 3 games from winning the Super Bowl? Like, what's it closer to? When you say perfect scenario, what is in your head? You don't have to tell me what it is, even though I wish you would.
Oh, it's just it's a location and a team. It ain't got nothing to do with winning the Super Bowl. Like, I was just like, yeah, location and team. It's just it's just one team that I come out of retirement for. Just one team. That's it.
It's Tampa. That's it.
Shaq, we can't
That's
go
it.
on.
He said it before.
Shaq, we can't go on.
And that's enough right there, Casey. It's Tampa. And here's the problem. And we heard yesterday, the news was Drew Rosenhaus, his agent, and Robert Bailey, both of his agents, it was reported by Adam Schefter that they have applied for reinstatement for Shaq Barrett, and the goal is for him to play immediately. And I don't think Shaq's playing immediately if he doesn't think he's in game shape to play immediately.
None of that made any sense to me. He's He's in retirement. He's happy with the decision, but maybe he'll come back. I want to know why. Why is he
And that was a
saying
while
that
ago. Now he's changing his tune. Now he's ready to come out of retirement.
We're talking about what? We're 2/3 into the season. We got what? Five games left, 6 games left,
He wants
something
to go
like that.
help a team. There's 2 teams that he could go to. First of all,
Dolphins or Bucks?
He's contractually obligated to be on. The rights are owned by the Dolphins if he gets reinstated by the NFL. Now, maybe there was a conversation from Rosenhaus and his agents and Miami saying, hey, he wants to come back. What can we do? He wants to play for the Bucks. He wants to go home. What can we do to get him out of the contract? What can we do to make sure he can go to this? I don't know if the Dolphins would be willing to do that.
I would think a guy who's as good a guy as he is, good a football player as Barrett is, that the Dolphins would accommodate him. The question is, will the Dolphins want something in return? Would it be a 5th-round pick, a 6th-round pick? But you would think that the Dolphins would have enough courtesy to say, you want to come out of retirement, you want to play with your team that you grew up playing with and, gave your career to, and you love, we'll do it.
Yeah,
now, how much in return will they want?
He made his career in Tampa. He obviously didn't start in Tampa, but he made his career in Tampa. Barry Jackson of the Miami Herald said he reports that Barrett is fine playing for the Dolphins if he's reinstated. He did write on Instagram, Shaq wrote, it would be a surprise to a lot of people, but he had been thinking about it for a while, and it was a clear decision for him. So very clear for Shaq Barrett, not so clear for
Counting. 95.3 WDAE and the mighty AM 620. Powered locally by Ferguson HVAC.
All right, we got the reports yesterday that Shaq Barrett wants to be reinstated out of retirement. Joining us now on the hotline, pewterreport.com, at Pewter Report, and at Bailey J. Adams 22. He is Bailey Adams. He is a man who predicted the Bucs would win Super Bowl 55 in their own stadium back in 2017. I will now trumpet that forever for you, Bailey. Good morning.
Good morning. I appreciate that. Thank you.
So you got my dad sitting in with me today. Pat's out.
What's up, Bailey? How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Okay. Do you love us?
Oh, my gosh.
I do, of course.
Okay, good.
What a mess. Bailey, Shaq Barrett. All right, so, of course, he's contractually obligated to go to the Dolphins, but we've heard before that he would really only want to come back to one team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What do you think happens here with Shaq Barrett moving forward?
Yeah, it's curious, especially with the added context of what he said on the Kay Adams show, that it would be Tampa and that how much love he has for Tampa. And he made it very clear that was the situation that would be what would bring him out of retirement. And what kind of is more curious about it is the timing of it, knowing that the Bucs just saw Joe Tryon-Shoyinka pick up an ankle injury in New York in that game. And, not sure clear on the timeline of that, but there would seem to be an opening if the Bucs, if Shaq Barrett wants to come back, and if the Bucs are able to make it happen. What's interesting about it is obviously the trade deadline is passed, and the Dolphins have his rights. Is there something where he's worked it out with the Dolphins, and he's only going to come out of retirement to, as long as they're going to grant him his release? Possibly. It kind of reminded me a little bit of 2020 when Rob Gronkowski came out of retirement with the Patriots, and knowing that the Patriots would trade him to Tampa because that was the situation he wanted.
And wasn't Drew, if I'm not mistaken, was Drew Rosenhaus his agent as well?
I'm not 100% sure, but I think you're right. That makes sense.
So, I mean, it's not like he wouldn't, if anyone is familiar with doing things like this, I feel like Rosenhaus would be that guy.
But Bailey, somebody's got to explain to me, because we were just listening to the soundbite from that. I'm still curious, why does he want to come out of retirement now with the season basically down the stretch run?
So that I don't know. That I do wonder if it is just he has an itch to keep playing, and maybe the opportunity has arisen with an injury to JTS. I don't know if it's something that the Bucs are even able to talk to him about. But it is. The timing is interesting because there are only 6 weeks left in the season. Maybe he kind of had the thought before the season that he didn't have a full year in him, but he still has something left to give. And, again, if the opportunity has come up with this little bit of the season left to help the team make a playoff push, maybe that's possible. And, there is the possibility that he did also change his mind and say, I want to play, and if it's Miami, I'll go to Miami and play out the season with the Dolphins too.
Yeah, and Rosenhaus was Gronk's agent, by the way, so wouldn't be surprised if they're working that one out. And I know Bucs fans would love that, like you mentioned, with JTS out, especially. Not that he's been the difference maker, but Shaq Barrett, a lot of people would love to welcome him back. What's going on? Let's go over injuries. Let's start with Tristan Wirfs. What's the latest on Wirfs?
I think that what was surprising to me, especially, is how close it seemed like he was to playing this past week. I know when the injury happened against the 49ers, it was good news that he would be, he was dealing with just more of a sprain and could come back sooner. I didn't think that coming out of the bye week he would be back on the practice field already. We'll see as this week kind of goes on what capacity he's able to practice, but I think good news on that front is coming. I don't know if it's him playing this week, but it seems like his return is sooner rather than later.
What about Jordan Whitehead? We all feared that would be season ending, but it seems like with that torn pectoral, it might not be season ending.
Yeah, again, another situation where he and the Bucs got lucky. It did seem, especially with the way he kind of was, his arm was kind of hanging when he was running off the field after that tackle attempt on Tommy DeVito. It seemed like that could be it. It looked like something really bad happened, but it's better news, and we'll see how long it takes. But it does seem like he'll be able to return this year.
Bailey Adams joining us, pewterreport.com. Bailey, what do you think? We're talking about it. We've been talking about it all week as far as overlooking potentially the Panthers, Dave Canales and Bryce Young. What's your storyline when it comes to the Bucs and the Panthers on Sunday?
Yeah, I think obviously the unique thing is the reunion of sorts between Todd Bowles and Dave Canales, his offensive coordinator from last year, and they're obviously familiar with each other. I'm thinking back to kind of the training camp and practice fields, and it was early in Canales' time calling plays and the call-it periods that they would have to kind of get him some experience. But Todd Bowles kind of at times would put it on the offense and really dial up those blitzes and basically make the offense look pretty useless. But the Panthers are playing better football. I think that's the thing that is good for Dave, and it's good for Panther fans to actually see Bryce Young playing better ball and kind of showing a glimmer of hope. But yeah, this is a team that just took the Chiefs down to the wire, and the Bucs definitely can't overlook them.
Yeah, Aaron was poo-pooing the Canales situation, but he does know the Bucs very well. He knows the defense, and you just brought it up. The last 3 games the Panthers have played have been much, much better, and the fact that Canales had, took the guts of sitting down Bryce Young for a few games, and since coming back, he seems more experienced, more confident in himself. And I think that Canales has done actually a pretty good job with the Panthers, considering where they were last year.
Yeah, I think so. That's a tough situation for him to go into. And I was even thinking when he took that job that, could he have really, waited another year and seen maybe if there was a better situation out there. But obviously he's a guy confident in his own abilities and in his own ability to work with the quarterback. And it was kind of surprising to see, Bryce Young get benched so early into the season. But it does seem like it's had, maybe the desired effect. And he's starting to play. He's not lighting the world on fire, but he, last few games hasn't thrown an interception, has thrown 3 touchdowns, and has them with a 2-1 record. And the loss was to the Chiefs, and it was a close one.
30-27 in that game, yeah.
I think we're giving him too much credit, guys. I mean, I do. I'm not scared of him. I'm not. The Saints, okay, they beat the Saints. It's cute. You beat the Giants. We know how bad the Giants are. And you beat, and then that basically ended Daniel Jones's career. And then you hung in there against the Chiefs, who apparently everyone hangs around with the Chiefs. So I think if the Bucs do their job, if they do what they did against the Giants, which was their job, go out there, score that 8+ minute drive, Bailey, to start the game. Go out there and you punch them in the mouth, and you did it all game long. You do that against the Panthers, and I don't think you have to worry about Bryce Young.
Well, if you watch Bryce Young the last 3 games, there's more fire in him now. He's much more energetic, and especially after a nice play or a big play, he is involved heavily with that offense and the line and everything else. I like what I'm seeing out of Bryce Young the last few games.
Yeah, I think he's made some more big-time throws than we saw him make last year and kind of early on this year. And I think, Aaron, the thing for me is kind of everything with the Panthers is on a scale. It's kind of like when you weight an exam as a professor. They did beat just the Saints and the Giants, and the Chiefs kind of let everyone hang around. But for the Panthers, that's a big deal because of what we saw them do last year and especially early on this year. It's a little bit more that they have some life and they're actually playing in some of these games more so than kind of laying down and looking lifeless.
Well, you guys have a full preview, and it's always great at pewterreport.com, so go check that out and make sure you see the work from Bailey Adams at Bailey J. Adams 22. Bailey, thank you, and we're thankful for you for everything you do for the show, and hope you have a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thankful for you, and everyone have a great Thanksgiving.
Thanks, Bailey.
There you have it, Bailey Adams. He knows his stuff. We love talking to him, and hopefully we'll talk to him next week as the Buccaneers are on a winning streak. Wouldn't that be nice? Get a little winning streak going here after the Thanksgiving break. All right, on the other side, speaking of breaks, when we come back, a little
93.3 WDAE and AM 620.
Game of under.
See, I told you it was over.
Are you ready?
Time for a little over-under. Casey Warner, keeper of the lines. What do you got, Casey?
Let's go. First of all, I gotta ask Jake. I mean, Aaron always says that you're like the mom and, Emma's like the dad.
True.
So, with that being said, you should be good at cooking, right?
That is a legitimate question, and no, I am not very good. I have some pointers for making salmon and chicken. But
before we get to that, by the way, I want to mention this. My bad. Over under sponsored by our good friends HowardTeamHomeLoans.com. John Howard, our buddy John Howard. My dad is famous for taking Eggos out of the freezer, putting them in the microwave.
Yes,
and
then toasting them perfectly so it's crispy on the outside, soft and soggy on the inside.
Yeah, that's all he can do.
I love that. So I guess we got our answer for the first one. Over under of 1.5 dishes Jake will make for Thanksgiving tomorrow.
0. My mom doesn't even let us in the kitchen. I was talking about this with my Aunt Patty last night. Like, my mom will not let us go into the kitchen because it's her kitchen.
Other than for drinks, and that could be anything from Gatorade, juice to alcoholic beverages. That's all we're allowed to do.
But even then, she's like kind of annoyed by us and just our presence in the kitchen.
What we do is we have a love affair with our tushy and our couch and the TV, and that is our whole day on Thursday besides eating.
And that's what you're supposed to do. Love it.
He makes us sound really good.
All right.
Sit on the couch all day.
Let's get into some of these Thanksgiving Day matchups. Over under 28.5 total points for the Lions tomorrow against the Bears at 12:30.
We got the Lions in the Goonie Boy Freaky 5 Thanksgiving Extravaganza parlay. Yeah, I did it. It's 10-point spread. All right, total of points for the Lions tomorrow. I think they're gonna end up plus 30. So give me over.
I agree.
Okay, got it.
They are a machine.
They are. They're an absolute machine. I expect them to take care of the Bears tomorrow. Over under 65.5 receiving yards for CeeDee Lamb for the Cowboys against the Giants at 4:30 tomorrow.
Even though you can't really count on Cooper Rush as a quarterback, but CeeDee Lamb is their offense, and I think he gets over 65.
Yeah, you're going to have to feed him. I actually might take him to get, the little special prop bet, like 80 or something. Add a little juice to it. I'm going to go over there. I feel like the over will hit.
So we're in tune right now together. This is good.
This is dangerous. Every time we do this, we lose.
This is kind of odd to say, but I mean, with a pretty big win over the Giants for the Cowboys tomorrow, you might have some people that are thinking, hey, they might make a little run at the end of the season, I mean, if they keep putting it together, Cooper Rush looks just as good as Dak Prescott at this point.
They will not be making a little run.
I agree with you on that. They will not make a run, although they will beat the Giants tomorrow.
They could play spoiler to a bunch of teams, though, so keep an eye on that. Hopefully not our Bucks towards the end. Over under 1.5 passing touchdowns for Tua Tagovailoa at Packers. Going to be cold tomorrow at 8:20 p.m. Eastern Time. He's had 3 or more passing touchdowns in each of his last 2 games.
That's a good question. That's a toughie because we know how the Dolphins have improved since Tua has come back from his concussion. This is a really good matchup tomorrow night. That's a tough one. I'm not sure. Cold weather, Tua's played, I'll say he'll go under.
Last 2 games, that Casey mentioned 3 touchdowns, the Raiders and the Patriots. Okay, so now you're going up in and by the way, both of those games were in Miami, and the weather's been so nice out. So you're going into a cold weather environment against a really good Packers team, a tough Packers team that plays good defense. I'm not only going to take the under, and I'm saying this in all seriousness. I'm being serious here. I am worried for Tua come that game tomorrow.
Every time he steps back, you should be worried.
And especially you're going up against recently defenses that haven't really been, and he's been smart, he's been getting down. At some point, he's going to take a lick that he's not going to see coming.
Blindside hit.
Blindside, whatever it's going to be, and it's going to be ugly. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's not tomorrow night. I hope it's not ever. But cold weather, it's going to, those hits hurt extra more. Like, they give it a little extra, with that cold. I'm worried for it. I'm going to go under, but
it's the best game of the 3 on Thanksgiving Day. No doubt about that. The matchup is great. But Aaron, you're going with the under as well?
I'm going to go with the under.
All right. So we're 3 for 3 and agreeing.
All right. So next up, over/under 199.5 passing yards for Bryce Young against the Bucks on Sunday.
Under. It's as simple as that. Even in these wins, I mean, I don't know what he did last week against.
He had over 200. He had like 214.
But in the wins, like against the Giants and before that, I don't think he threw for over 200 in those games. I'm going to go under.
There is only one way Carolina has a chance, in my opinion, to beat the Buccaneers is if he has a big game. I don't think they're going to win, but I think he gets over 200 yards. He's going to be their offense on Sunday.
Yep, 4 o'clock game for the 4:05 game. I want to look at the last couple games for Bryce Young.
Yeah, more than anything, he's just been efficient the last couple games. He hasn't really wowed with the yards. He's just thrown less incompletions and less stupid passes.
So, Giants win, he had 126 yards passing. The Saints win, he had 171 yards passing. So based on that, I mean, I'm going to go under unless he's chasing in a like last week. He was chasing. He was trying to get back in that game, and he did, and that's what led to 260 yards.
Efficient Bryce Young and efficient Bucky Irving is what we've been seeing all season. He's approaching 1,000 scrimmage yards, and right now he is averaging 52.6 yards per game rushing, 22.9 yards per game receiving. He has 831 total scrimmage yards on the season. So over 1,195.5 yards from scrimmage for Bucky Irving at the end of the season.
All right, where is he at now?
He is at 831. So if he averaged what he keeps averaging now, he will hit over 1,200.
He is so much fun to watch. He was a great running back for Oregon, a great program there. He's averaging 6.3 yards a carry this year. 5.4 yards a carry. I'm going over. I think they're going to feed him the ball more and more as the games progress.
You're absolutely right. We're going to agree again here. I'm going to go over, and I don't even think it's going to be close. I'm actually going to try to see if I can find that in the Hard Rock app because the utilization of him has gone up. They're really giving him the football the last 2 games. He's had his most 12 carries last game, 13 before, and that's up from 9, 9, and 7. So they're definitely utilizing him there more. And receiving, he's 6 receptions last week, 64 yards. That's gone up, that production. So they're going to keep doing that. It's only going to keep improving, especially if they want to make the run here to the playoffs. I'm going to go over.
I think it's
Bucky, go.
Yeah, go Bucky, go. I think it's safe to say that Bucky Irving, as far as value goes and where he was taken, the best pick for the Bucs in this past draft.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Again, coming from a great college program like Oregon, terrific 2 years there in 2022 and 2023, and he's picked it right up in his rookie season with the NFL Buccaneers.
Yeah, I'm going to go over as well. All right, good stuff. That's over under, brought to you by HowardTeamHomeLoans.com. Earlier, you and I were talking a little bit about Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, the seasons they're having, Josh Jacobs, new teams leading the league in rushing. It makes me wonder if the value of the position is going to go back up. It's one that's gone down. They got the contract they wanted. Will it go back up? I don't know. The shelf life for some of these guys is just not long, but they are dominating. Who do you think? I've got some odds here. Do you think Derek or Saquon Barkley will finish with 2,000 yards rushing this season?
Where is he at now?
He is at and he's on track. He's on pace for that currently at the moment, and he's got almost 1,400, just a tick under 1,400.
All right, so he's got to average basically about 100 yards a game. I think he goes under. I mean, terrific year. Definitely, I don't think he'll win the MVP. I don't think a running back is going to do that, but he'll finish in the top 3, maybe 4. But I don't think he gets to 2,000.
So Derrick Henry is at 1,325. If you wanted to right now take Barkley and Henry to both have a 2,000-yard rush season.
What are the odds?
Plus 1,200.
How much would $5 pay?
Come on, I can't. I'll tell you 10 would pay 120, so 5 would pay 60.
All right.
I don't know. It would.
To have 2 guys in the same season hit over 2,000 yards rushing, that's tough.
Barkley's on pace to break the single-season rushing record. He's on pace for 2,024 yards.
Yeah, but you're also talking over 17 games. The guy, right?
Well, actually, he's on pace for 2,024 after 16 games.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's a crazy number. Will he break the rushing record in 16 games is one you can bet on, plus 700. I think these guys they both jumped into the MVP category conversation. I think more so Saquon Barkley, just because I have Lamar Jackson as the MVP. Will you shut your damn phone off, please?
Why even bring it up? Just let it go.
We can hear it.
Do not bring attention to it. It's a little ding.
Saquon Barkley is more of an MVP right now because of how he's turned that Eagles consistency in that Eagles offense and that Eagles team that last year we saw them fall apart.
Well, both guys, Henry and Barkley, are coming off somewhat down years with bad teams. So now they're put on good teams, and look what they have done. So, yeah, it helps to have a good team around you to have the numbers that they have. I have to look at the teams they're playing and the defenses before I give you an honest opinion.
We got Pick'em coming up. We're going to give you all the picks, my picks, Dad's picks, Casey's picks. We got them all coming up. I do want to remind people and let you know, if you're driving around right now around Tampa Bay, just be really careful. Be aware the visibility is really bad right now. There's a lot of fog. I just heard there was an accident outside of near our entrance here, the Ulmerton Road entrance. So there's some traffic with that. But I'm talking like near zero visibility. So you're on the roads right now. Just be really
Dad and Aaron Show on 95.3 WDAE and AM 620.
Pick a winner, pick a winner. I made a pick'em group thing.
That's right. Dad's in, Jake's in, Pat's out. He'll be back after the break. We'll all be back after the Thanksgiving break. Hopefully everyone has a great Thanksgiving. I'll take the opportunity to thank everyone, all the listeners, all the goons out there. We're thankful for you, and we really appreciate you and all the support you've given us over the years. If you're an OG over the years, if you're a new listener and you've been hanging in there, we thank you as well, and we appreciate you, and we hope you continue to hang in there. All right, time for a little NFL Pick'em. We've got on the text line, somebody's mad at me. I just told you to shut your damn phone off. I apologize. That was rude of me. I take it back. By the way, I take it back, but I did it during the break, too, because it went off again during the break.
It's amazing, though. The goons have my back, and I really respect and appreciate that. And by the way, we got a text in. We were talking about the whether or not I can cook, and my specialty is Eggo waffles. Somebody wanted to know, how long do I put the waffles in the microwave? Microwave first, anywhere from 20, depending on how frozen they are, 25 to 30 seconds. Pop them in the toaster. Let that go for whatever you do. You'll get the crispy outside, soggy soft in the inside. Put a little butter and syrup on it. You got yourself a gem.
An expert at Eggo waffles.
Yes.
You heard it here from his mouth. All right, let's do a little pick'em. Let's do a little pick'em here.
Bring
I got
it
some
on,
games.
baby.
I got 2 college games. I got all the turkey games. I got the Black Friday game, and I got the Bucks game. So we got a lot to get to today. Let's start with this. We're going to break it up here into 2. Let's go first game, number 18, South Carolina, heading to take on Clemson on the road. Clemson, the home team here. Clemson, 2.5-point favorites. If you missed it earlier, we did a Freaky 5 parlay. I'm going to put it up at Jacobson on air. We have to go with South Carolina. And either way, you and I were talking about this. We like the way the direction the Gamecocks are going. Tough game on the road. Very tough game on the road. I think they're going to be ready for it. They're a hot ascending team. I'm going with South Carolina.
One of our parlay picks from the listeners was South Carolina in that game, getting the 2.5. Look, I love this game. It might be the best matchup, or top 3 matchups of the whole Thanksgiving weekend into the Saturday. I like South Carolina to win the game. Close game. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I don't know what the over-under is, but I think both teams can score in the 30s.
Casey?
Yeah, I think this game is going to be one of the best of the weekend. Absolutely, Jake, what you said. I mean, this is going to be one of the best in their rivalry history, I think. South Carolina is a tough team, though. They hung in there with Alabama, really thought they were going to pull off that upset earlier in the season. I don't think there's any way they don't cover this one, but I really do think South Carolina is going to win. Clemson just doesn't have what it takes this season.
All right, all 3 of us are on South Carolina now. A very intriguing game. We'll head to Tallahassee, where Florida State, the Seminoles, host UF, the Gators. 7 o'clock game Saturday. Dad, we're psyched about that.
Absolutely. And Florida, of course, we mentioned this earlier. In my opinion, again, solely on my opinion, the Gators are playing one of the best footballs in all of college football over the last 4 games. Langway is on fire. It's just Lagway.
But you do that. You don't know names.
I don't know names.
I don't know Shamanai. You don't know names.
That's where you get it, Aaron, huh?
Yeah, that's it.
So you look
14.5-point favorites.
Florida State is so bad. They got a win last week against a nobody. I'm one of those people that if I'm betting a game, a lot of times I'll bet a game against a team that I hate, even though I think they're going to win. In this case, I'm not going to bet the game. But if you're going to bet it, how can you not take Florida, even at Florida State, and lay the 14.5? They're a far superior team than the Seminoles.
The 14.5 scares me with the Gators because there's still not that to me. Casey, who do you like?
Absolutely, Florida. I mean, this just came out of nowhere. It's almost like after the Billy Napier decision to keep him after this season, they just completely rallied around him as a team, and they've come together as one. I mean, you know, Florida State, they still only have 1 win, 1-11 after their 13-0, quote-unquote, college football playoff-worthy season. Obviously, they didn't deserve to get in Florida by at least 14.5 in this one.
Yeah, I'm going with Florida as well. It scares me, but I still like the way they're playing. I love the way they're playing. We're all on the same thing. We're all in South Carolina. We're all in Florida. Let's go to the NFL. The turkey games. Bears at Lions. Lions, 10.5-point favorites. Dad.
Bears have played extremely well, even though they lose a lot of their games. Every game comes down to the wire. We saw it last week. It's unbelievable how they screw things up. Detroit is on another level, though. This is a game that I don't think the Bears, maybe the first half, they kind of keep it close. Second half, Lions come away with a victory, and they cover the 10.5.
Yeah, I think they're deflated. I'm going to jump on that right now with you. Casey Warner.
Yeah, absolutely jumping on that as well. They're just absolutely a machine. Those two running backs, David Montgomery back there, and I just think that they're a well-oiled machine at this point. There's no way the Bears, who are falling as it goes, they were in the playoff hunt earlier, not so much anymore. They go to 4-8. Lions take it by at least 10.5.
Scary. We're all together now. All right, let's go to the game that my dad was so excited to talk about when we first woke up this morning. Giants at Cowboys tomorrow. That's the middle game. That's the second of the three games. Dallas, 3.5-point favorites. Who do you like, Dad?
You're not supposed to look at the game before to judge on the next game, but in the Cowboys' case, they really did play well against Washington. The defense was much better. They bottled up Daniels at quarterback, and the Giants just laid an egg. Dabo, the coach of the Giants, upset with the team because they're calling them soft. Maybe they come up a little fired up against the Cowboys. I just don't see it, though. Cowboys cover the 3.5.
All right, you're going to go Cowboys. Casey Warner.
I got to go with the Cowboys here. Like I was saying earlier, I mean, they showed some fight last week at Washington. They pulled off that victory, and they're looking a little bit better, honestly, with Cooper Rush in there over Dak Prescott. So I got to say the Giants didn't show me anything against the Bucs last week. Poor Tommy DeVito. Love his story, but he just doesn't have enough to take on this Cowboys well-oiled machine. Well-oiled machine. Hey, they're ready for Thanksgiving Thursday football. They play it every year, so you know they're going to come out ready to play. Give me the Cowboys, absolutely.
This is finally where we're going to disagree. I'm going to go. I think Locke's going to play because of the injury to DeVito, and I think that Locke's going to be like, I'm coming out blazing because of this.
Locke is giving you a lock on this game. Is that
I don't call anything a lock because of the Lock Death Monster on this show. It's come back to bite me too many times. But yes, I like Locke. I like him fighting for his career, making money as a backup. And now he's going to go out there and, I don't know about win the game, but division game, you're going to keep it close. Maybe Dallas wins by 3, but Giants are going to cover. All right, let's do one more here before we take a quick little break, and then we'll do the rest of Pick'em on the other side, including the Bucs game. Let's go to the final Thursday night game, the final Thanksgiving game. The Dolphins head to Lambeau to take on the Packers. Cold weather environment. We were just talking about it. Packers 2.5-point favorites. Who do you like, Dad?
I love playing games or watching games at Lambeau Field. Hopefully it snows on the Thanksgiving Eve or Thanksgiving Day night game. This is the best matchup. We know that for sure. Tua's played great since coming back. I think he hits a snag in this one. I'll take the Packers at home, lay the 2.5.
I am going to agree with you. I'm taking the Packers, too. I think this is the time where they get the hiccup for the Dolphins. Tough environment to play. Give me the Packers.
So I'm looking at the weather here, and there's no chance of precipitation on Thursday night. Partly cloudy, low of 23. So, yes, it is going to be very cold, but no precipitation. With that being said, I just don't think Tua has what it takes. He's played two crappy teams like we were talking about the last couple weeks. He put up the touchdowns. I don't think he can do it again against the Packers. Packers are in a very tough division, and they've shown they are up for the taking in that division. They could still win it, and this will be a big win for him. Give me the Packers at home.
All right, once again, we are all together. We're all on the Packers there. People are really getting on me on the text line. Aaron, stop being disrespectful to your father. They really do have your back. And then Sincerely Guy, it's not that we, quote, have your back, Jake. We just think your son's a tool. Sorry, Sincerely Guy, and FYI, the Goons. That's with love. That's with love from Sincerely Guy. Thank you. And I appreciate that you have my dad's back. That's why I give him grief sometimes, just because I like to see you all defend.
The Pat and Aaron Show is live on 95.3 WDAE and AM 620.
Continuing Pick'em Turkey Edition. Want to remind everyone, win tickets to the Pro Cup happening December 12th to the 14th at Innisbrook Resort in Palm Harbor. Watch legends like John Smoltz, Jerome Bettis, The Bus, and Jeremy Roenick challenge each other like never before, and you can register to win tickets at 953WDAE.com. We're looking to get The Bus on the show with us. I think we're going to get Roenick on with us as well.
Roenick and Smoltz can play golf. I don't know about The Bus, but those other two guys, very, very solid players.
All right, let's see how solid we are in Pick'em remaining the rest of the way here. Want to remind everyone, just be really careful. Fog out there, foggy day. If you're on the roads, pay attention. A lot of fog.
Very foggy.
All right, let's continue here. We got 5 games left, 4, and then the Buccaneers game to round it off. Let's go to the Black Friday game. We were talking about it earlier. No Gardner Minshew. The Chiefs have been playing close games, though. Haven't been running away with things. Raiders at Chiefs Friday game. Chiefs 12.5-point favorites. Quarterback for the Raiders up in the air.
Andy Reid, Mahomes, Kelsey, blah, 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 blah. The rivalry game at Kansas City, I don't think the Raiders are just playing bad football now. I mean, really bad. I think the Chiefs finally come together in this game. I don't know if it will continue afterwards, but I think this is blowout city. Chiefs win big, 35-13.
I have to agree with you on that, especially with Raiders quarterback up in the air. They're ready, the Chiefs, to really build on a lead and blow somebody out. I'm going to go with the Chiefs. Casey?
I'm going to go with the Chiefs as well. And just a reminder, you mentioned Brian Stamey went 7-3 last week. Your boy went 7-3 last week, too.
Ooh.
And so did Jeff Attinella. And if I'm not mistaken, I extended my lead in Pick'em.
You're hot right now.
Yeah, I got a pretty big lead overall in Pick'em, so I had to brag about that a little bit. But give me the Chiefs. Minus 12.5. Aiden O'Connell might start for the Raiders. He might throw the Chiefs off a little bit, but I think they got to get it going down the stretch eventually. They got to cover sometime soon, and it's against the Raiders in this game.
Yeah, you're on a heater, man. Absolute heater. All right, let's go to the Chargers at the Falcons, where the Chargers, coming off a tough loss to the Ravens, short week for them. Falcons coming off the bye week. The Chargers are 1.5-point favorites. Dad.
A very good matchup. You got, Herbert, one of the best young quarterbacks in football, against the experience of Cousins. Falcons fighting for that playoff division with the Saints and, of course, the Buccaneers. Of course, I'm rooting for the Chargers, but I think Falcons playing at home in a close matchup. They're laying the 1.5. They probably win from anywhere from 3 to 7 points. I'll take the Falcons, lay the small points.
All right, Casey Warner.
I just don't trust the Falcons. I really want to take them at home, and I really want to think that they're going to get into that playoff push mode and start putting together some kind of consistency, but I just don't see it. Jim Harbaugh's done an outstanding job with this Chargers team. They came up a little short against the Ravens on Monday Night Football. Even on a short week, I think the Chargers get it done and covered.
And the Chargers played pretty well. I know they missed some opportunities against the Ravens, but Harbaugh was not happy after that game. Of course, talking about Jim Harbaugh, not John Harbaugh. He was happy. But, man, I just like this Chargers defense overall, even though they didn't play great against the Ravens. I think the Falcons are going to have struggle with them, and I think Bucs fans need to hope they struggle with them. I'm going to go with the Chargers. Give me the Chargers. All right, Steelers heading to Cincinnati. Take on the Bengals. Bengals, 2.5-point favorites. Tough game. Steelers have been playing tough football all season long. The Bengals, Joe Burrow's having a heck of a season, but the Bengals just aren't it this year. Dad, who do you have?
I'm a big fan of Mike Tomlin. I mean, Pittsburgh is notorious for keeping their coaches around, and Tomlin deserves it. One of the best coaches out there. I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer, but he's a great coach.
I think he's no doubt Hall of Fame.
Has his team always prepared.
He's never been under 500.
He's great.
It's insane.
He doesn't get enough credit for what he has done with Pittsburgh. I'm just leaning on Burrows on this one, who is at this stage of his career is a better quarterback than Russell Wilson. I'm going with the Bengals and the short spread of later 2.5 in a very, very, very good matchup on Sunday.
Casey Warner.
The Steelers just keep finding ways to win, even though they've hit a little bump in the road the past couple weeks. I think the Bengals are absolutely fighting for their playoff lives in this game, sitting at 4-7. It'd probably be the nail in the coffin on their season if they lose this one. And I think if any team's going to give that to them, it's their rival Steelers at their place. So, yeah, I got to trust Mike Tomlin and the Steelers.
Wow. They keep surprising me. I'm going to go with the Bengals here. I think the Bengals roll in this one. I think the Steelers it's kind of reminiscent of. Do you remember a couple years ago they started
12-0?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they were the worst 12-0 team I've ever seen in my life. It was only a matter of time, and then I think they were 1 and done in the playoffs.
Yep, against the Browns and Baker Mayfield that year.
That's right.
Yep.
Good memory. So
youth, right there.
I know. That's why we love him. He's got so much knowledge too, and he loves the game. I'm gonna go with the Bengals just because I really do. I think this is it's not as fake a Steelers team as that one was, but it's not a real Steelers. It's not a dominant team. That defense, TJ Watt can blow a game up. I know that, but I'm going to go with the Bengals here to step up and win.
Look, Wilson has played well, and a lot of criticism was coming from Tomlin for putting him in instead of Fields when they were winning. But we see now Wilson is the better quarterback for this team right now. But Joe Burrow is very good.
Very good. We talked about earlier Saquon Barkley with his new team with the Eagles. We talked about Derrick Henry with his new team with the Ravens, both playing dominant football. Both of them maybe in the MVP conversation. I know Saquon for sure. Eagles at Ravens, Baltimore, 2.5-point favorites.
Most intriguing matchup of the weekend, and that includes Thursday's game. Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, as you said, Barkley and Henry. Great game. I think this is a game that the Ravens defense, if you've watched them all year, is very soft, but they keep winning because they have the great offense. This is going to be a high-scoring game. I think Baltimore playing at home ekes it out, cover the 2.5, but it will be a close game, a great game at that.
Casey.
Absolutely. It's mano-a-mano. I mean, I think Derrick Henry and Saquon cancel each other out in this game, so then you got to ask me, who's going to have a better game between Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson? I got to pick Lamar Jackson. He's trying to push for that MVP once again. And even though Saquon Barkley's right there, like I said, Henry's going to have a good game as well. So I think Lamar shows out, and they get a big win to go to 9-4. Give me Baltimore to cover.
I agree. I don't think they kill him, but I think this is their moment. I think it's Lamar's moment. The Ravens are a better team than the Eagles, and I've always been on the Ravens. I've been on them all season long. So
defense is soft, though, this year.
Well, the secondary is soft. Their run defense is still strong.
I don't know about that. Check it out. They didn't look very good last week.
Their run defense is still, I still trust them.
You check that out and find out for me. Do your research, will you?
I got it. No.
Where's
I'm
your
doing
notes,
research.
Aaron?
I know. I'm doing research for him now. Is what I'm doing.
Yes.
Well,
I mean, you don't do it and then come back after the break.
It's not fair that you do this to me right now.
Well, you don't have to do it right now. Wait till after the break.
No, it's important. All right. Total defense. The best team in football for total defense is the Eagles.
Yeah. Okay.
Hold on, let me find.
I'm going to say Ravens are like 22nd, 23rd.
It's not good. I promise you that.
The Ravens' run defense is number 2 in the league.
That's because people are passing on them. What's their average?
I just told you the run defense. You're like, not so good. What do you want from me, man?
What do they get? All right, so what's the rushing average against them? Are they giving up 4.3?
77.9 yards a game.
Pretty solid.
Out of how many
very
carries?
Solid. I don't. You are being very annoying. Total defense, they are not
21.
great. They're below that.
Okay.
They're below that. But yeah, their passing defense is terrible. That's what.
You put it together, they're a soft defense.
All right. Let's go to the big game. Enough said on that one. Let's go to this one, the one we've all been waiting for. Buccaneers trying to build a little winning streak here, coming off the Giants win. Going on to take on Dave Canales and the Panthers. 6.5-point favorites. Dad, who do you have?
They're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. They see a division coming their way and a playoff appearance. I think the Carolina, again, playing better the last 3 games on the Bryce Young and Canales. But I think the Buccaneers take care of business, win by at least 10 points.
There you go. You got the Bucs to cover. Casey Warner.
I got the Bucs to cover as well. I love this spread because I think it's going to be exactly a touchdown game. I believe that the Bucs are going to have the lead most of the game, but Bryce Young's going to keep it interesting in that second half. He's been efficient. I think he continues to be efficient against a struggling Bucs secondary that's also injured. Give me the Bucs by 7. Yeah, they'll cover.
I think the Bucs will be up by 10 going into the half, something around 10. And then I think it's close in the third, but the Buccaneers will separate themselves. The run game is what's going to help them separate themselves in the second half, having 3 guys back there that keeps you fresh. So I am going to go with the Bucs confidently to cover the 6.5. So there you have it. There is Pick'em. And we've all got them together. Brought to you by Smack Apparel, our friends at Smack Apparel, and El Bandito Yankee Tequila. Love my El Bandito Yankee Tequila. And on the other side, we're going to talk about the Bucs Panthers some more and some miscellaneous topics. We'll keep it light.
Show on 95.3 WDAE and AM 620.
Welcome back. Final half an hour before we head out for Thanksgiving. Hopefully everyone has some good plans. Be careful out there. A lot of fog this morning. So just want to remind everyone, be careful. Dad, you wanted to get to it, and we'll take we'll jump into the Bucs. We'll kind of have like a miscellaneous topic, or soup du jour of topics, if you will. Topic du jour. And we'll just throw them in a little mini blender before the blender.
Okay.
You wanted to talk Rays. We haven't gotten to it. I talked about it earlier.
Yeah.
I mentioned it. We didn't get to it. The Rays, they're going to play 69 of their final 103 games on the road. The schedule changes, of course, are going to be at Steinbrenner Field. We all know that. We know how there's a lot of rain and it's hot in the summer. I think it's a major disadvantage, personally, that the Rays will play so many home games up front at a stadium that's not really their home anyway. And it just scatters it to a point where there's too many road trips jumbled in the middle where the season is already so challenging. They've got a stretch where they've got Minnesota, Detroit, and Boston all on the road before the All-Star break, and then they go on for a 12-game road trip right after the All-Star break, essentially. So I don't love it.
Well, if you win in the first 3 months of the season when you have a majority of the games at home, you hope it carries over to the road games. You get some confidence out of that. It is unfair, but the situation that occurred through the hurricane has put us in this situation. But I got to say, the idea, whether it was played at Steinbrenner Field or down at Ed Smith Stadium in Sarasota, wherever they decided, I love that idea that you get, it's fun enough to be at a spring training game because the ambiance and everything else is so different and so much more friendly. So I like this idea. But please, you want to build a stadium here, you better fill up 11,000 seats at Steinbrenner Field every single home game, because if you can't fill it up at a spring training complex, you're in trouble.
I don't think that's going to be a problem.
I hope not.
I don't think it's going to be a problem. But based on the novelty alone of the Rays playing at a different place and playing on the Tampa side, I think 11,000, that's going to be easy for them.
That's the key now. We'll see. If you can get 11,000 here in Tampa, does it mean anything? Probably not. But you better get it not just every other game, every single game. If you can't put 11,000 seats, fannies in the seats, then you got big trouble.
We were talking earlier about the college football playoff and some of the standings and the Big 12 standings. Ken's been hanging in there for a while. I want to get him on the air out of Bradenton. Good morning, Ken.
Good morning, gentlemen, and it's great to hear your dad back on. I call him the man, the myth, the legend.
Ken, how are you, bud?
I am fine, sir. Since I am a graduate at Arizona State, I want to talk about the Big 12. It's down to the wire. I want to get your thoughts on these games on Saturday.
All right. So which specific games are you talking about? Because we got a lot of good games coming up. I don't have the schedule right in front of me.
Oh, sure. You got Iowa State, of course, BYU, Colorado, and ASU in the mix. Iowa State's home. K-State, probably the best game of the four. BYU's home against Houston, lay down. Colorado's home against Oklahoma State. That's a lay down.
Yep.
And then we play our arch rivals, University of Arizona. From what I've seen, it has ASU in the college football playoffs.
They are.
They've great in my lifetime. And I just wanted your thoughts. Let's go with the BYU Houston game.
I think they've got Ohio State as Arizona State. Tell me if I'm wrong, Casey, but I think it's Arizona State, Ohio State in that first round matchup currently.
Arizona State currently has the 12 seed.
Against, I think it was Ohio State is what I saw, if I'm not mistaken.
And over the next couple of weeks, it's going to change again. Yeah. It's going to change. Look, Arizona State has had a phenomenal year. 9-2 overall, 6-2 in the conference. But let's be honest here. The Big 12 is a good conference, but it's not spectacular.
Yeah, and Houston isn't the same team we've seen in years past. So do I think BYU is going to handle Houston?
Yes.
If that's your question, Ken, yeah, my answer is yes.
Well, I appreciate your time, guys, and happy Thanksgiving.
Hey, thanks to you as
appreciate
well. Happy Thanksgiving. Did you see, and it's a good time to kind of catapult into this, and pivot into this. The way the transfer portal is working and the way recruits now with the NIL deals, how crazy this thing has become.
It spins my head.
Bryce Underwood, who is the quarterback that everybody wants, the 5-star quarterback, Bryce Underwood, there's like a coalition put together by Dave Portnoy of Barstool.
Yeah.
And Larry Underwood. Not Larry. Larry Ellison.
Okay.
Who is like a billionaire, who made a lot of money.
$10 million they offered him or something like that?
He's the Oracle founder, by the way. $12 million. So they're going to pay up to $3 million per year for a transfer. He was in communications with Michigan, and now it looks like he's going to be transferring over there because of this. I mean, Tom Brady got involved in this thing. So
it's a free agent market, basically, for college athletics now, right?
The recruitment
It's
for
insane.
it now, it's absolutely nuts. It's insane.
It's good to be a high school sports athlete star now, or even a college star.
Nick Wise, who just got up, he started staring at me through the window over there. I'm like, he did the thing with his fingers where he pointed. He goes, "I'm looking at you." If you see me on YouTube right now on DAE, he did those. I'm looking at you. I'm like, why is he doing that to me right now?
Why is he doing that?
I forgot he's a Michigan fan. He's listening out there.
Oh, he's happy.
So he's happy. And I'm not this. Do what you got to do. Portnoy's a genius for using his platform, and the Ellison family, and I believe it's Larry's wife who's the Michigan alum. I think he's like an Illinois alum. She's like, I need to win. It just goes to show you how crazy the donors will get when it comes to the money. If they've got big, deep pockets, they want to go win a national championship, they'll do what they have to do, especially now with the NIL deals. That's a ton of money. You're going to be making more money than a lot of pros are making.
I love that athletes, young kids coming out of high school or college showing their stuff can make this kind of money, but it irritates me.
You took an LSU guy and you stole him and you're bringing him to Ann Arbor. Here's Nick Wise on the show. You got to be a happy guy, but you know what I'm saying here.
So I'm geeked about it because, Portnoy's getting all of the credit.
It's the Ellisons.
And he was like, no, he felt guilty about getting the credit. And his wife, I think her name is Jolie.
Yeah, Jolene,
correct. I love her. I tweeted out the other day, I said my wife, my mom, and Jolene are the three women I love the most in my life. And
the description of like her, what Portnoy put out there of her being like, I need to wake up on Saturdays and know that my team is better than every other team.
Yeah, he felt bad for getting the credit. And she's like, I don't need credit. I need to stack national championships.
Well,
and I'm
so
like, I love you.
How do you feel about that? I mean, again, the athletes, they want to make some money. Young kids, that's great.
Buy them.
I feel like we protect this woman at all costs. I already started thinking, like, what happens if they get a divorce? Like, does she get money in the divorce?
Definitely.
Like, she's an important person in my life. As far as the players getting paid, I think they should. Like, the TV deal that the Big Ten just signed, with CBS, NBC, and Fox was $7 billion. Why shouldn't the players get some of that money? It should be regulated, though.
Look, yeah, something has to be done that guys can just skip, go into the transfer portal, leave. It happened. Look, good for Miami. They got Cam Ward out of that because of Washington State. But
you could have been Florida State and get DJ Uyunglele. Like that's
But you could have been
either
Florida
way.
State last year and go 13-0. I mean, that's just kind of what Florida's done. The transfer portal can be a risk, but Florida State, they messed up going after DJ Uyunglele, and we knew everyone just lives off of that 5-star he got out of high school. He is exactly, not to be Denny Green, but he's exactly who we thought he was and who we've been saying he was when the season started.
Clemson, Oregon State, he was the same guy. If you're an LSU fan with this Bryce Underwood situation, you're not happy. No. But then again, people in Baton Rouge, there are deep pockets in Baton Rouge as well.
They offered him money too.
It's just the
it's not
highest
like
bidder is going to win.
Exactly.
And if Tom Brady calls you.
You have Tom Brady FaceTiming you.
Yeah.
You have Dave Portnoy.
Yeah.
You have the Ellisons. I mean, look, that's Michigan. Now that Michigan's become an NIL, they're starting to throw the money around. Watch out.
I can't tell that if we got our program director excited based on the conversation we were having or based on it was just Michigan.
It was about
to
the
get him lit
Michigan
up.
stuff.
All right,
I think it was an excuse to get in here and talk with me.
That's exactly.
I've been listening to you all morning. I don't
Aaron Show on 95.3 WDAE and AM 620. The Blender.
Blender time on the Pat and Aaron Show, brought to you by Mazda of Clearwater. And if you've heard me recently, I've been telling you I got my beautiful new Mazda 3. Dad, you've taken a ride in that beautiful new vehicle.
Love it. And I love the color coordinated, especially the inside with that kind of maroony red. Yeah. Very nicely done.
All right, before we get to the Blender, I know a family friend of ours, she called and she loves listening to my dad when he's on with us. And I know we don't have a lot of time, but we'll go to her real quickly here. Sherry, how you doing?
Hi, happy Thanksgiving, guys. I love you. I know we don't have a lot of time. I just want to wish you an abundant holiday, and I love you, and I will see you soon. How's that?
Love you too. Happy Thanksgiving. Yes. You're the best, and we will see you soon. I'll see you shortly.
She is great.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, my dear. Love to the family.
Thank you, Sherry.
And by the way, if you're in Sarasota, you got to look for Solar Coaster. She is in a group and as a solo artist as well.
Thank you.
She is the best.
Thanks for the plug.
And you'll
I'm
see.
actually going to be at
where?
Yeah, I'll be at Ringling on the Ringling Cotazon, members only. The 2nd of December, I'm doing a solo.
Oh,
and
I
the
love
band
it.
is back there in February. So yeah, thank you very much for the plug. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Sherry. And if you see a weird old dude dancing around there, a little crazy, a little funky, that's my dad.
She knows.
That's my dad. All right.
She knows.
Blender time, Casey Warner, to wrap it up and get ready for this Thanksgiving holiday.
Yeah, we wouldn't have a blender without another phone ding from Jake. I know that heard that right there.
So you do hear it, right?
I hear it. Oh, I hear every single one of them.
I'm trying not to yell at the guy because I love him.
It's so fitting.
Just like it's crazy. It's crazy.
You guys are really out of control with this.
Out of control.
Out of control.
And I tell you what.
Give us the blender there, kid.
The Tampa Bay Lightning were out of control with 8 goals scored in their previous matchup. Tonight, they are at Amalie Arena taking on the Washington Capitals at 7:30 p.m. on TNT. The over-under is 6.5 total goals. The money line is minus 145 in favor of the Lightning. The Capitals come in at 14-6-1, and the Tampa Bay Lightning come in at 11-7-2.
5-2 Lightning tonight.
I was going to say 4-2. We have to take them. We're part of our parlay Goons parlay pick. Lightning will win the game 4-2. They're not going to score 5 goals in the first period.
There you go. Heard the ding again, by the way.
Nice Eastern Conference matchup there for the Lightning tonight, pre-Thanksgiving matchup. And, of course, do not forget about your South Florida Bulls this weekend. They had Senior Day last week. They head to Rice in Houston on Saturday. You can catch that game on ESPN Plus at 2 p.m. And they are favored by 5.5 in this game. You heard what Coach Golish said yesterday. Bulls are not the standard. With a win here, they will be 7-5 and will look to go to 8-5 with a bowl victory. Big into the season for South Florida.
Are they? I thought they were going for their 7th win. Am I crazy?
They're going for their 7th win here, but I mean, if they get the bowl win, they'll have 8.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, my bad. Listen, I think they've done a really good job. Like I mentioned yesterday, you lose your quarterback that everyone was talking about in Byron Brown going into the season, and you end up with a backup who's done really well, especially lately. The last couple of weeks has been spectacular. This team's looked great. Very impressed with what Golish has done with the program overall.
Yeah, a decent season, and they can secure a spot basically in the bowl games with the victory over Rice. We have them part of our, again, Goons parlay, so let's go USF.
Let's go, yeah. And then right now they have in the latest bowl projections, they're in the Cure Bowl, which is in Orlando against Texas State, so that would be very cool for South Florida fans here in the Tampa Bay area. And then just to update you on your USF men's basketball team as well, they last played on November 24th. They got a 73-72 win over Wright State. That was a very close victory. Nice late second shot by USF. They don't play again until Tuesday, December 3rd at 7 p.m. against Stetson, and that will be their next matchup. And on the college basketball note, there was an elite showdown last night. The Kansas Jayhawks defeated the Duke Blue Devils 75-72. That gives Duke their second top 10 loss of the season. Cooper Flagg and Knipple, they kind of just blew it again last night, man. They had the chance to take the lead, to tie the game up, and fumbled it away. Those freshmen showing their early woes.
How about UConn losing its second straight game?
Yeah, Dan Hurley's losing his mind.
Yeah, interesting.
2 games in a row by less than 2 points, or 2 points or less. Long season in college basketball, long way to go. A lot of things are going to change in the next couple of months.
It might be better for Hurley and this team for them to have a couple losses like that because he's a fiery guy.
Yeah.
And these losses aren't going to matter down the stretch. I don't think they will. So,
couple of difficult calls against him the last 2 games that were part of the reason for the losses.
Speaking of coaches, did you guys see Mac Brown is done at North Carolina?
You know what's crazy about that? I cannot believe, because I remember being on the pregame shows on ESPN as part of the college football game. He's been there 17 years.
2 different two different tenures. It wasn't straight.
Okay, so I'm not out of my mind.
No, you're not you're out of your mind for not figuring out how to turn your phone off. But that's a different situation.
But what are they? When they hired him, why are you hiring Mac Brown again?
What do you mean? He did a good job in 20. He did a really good job.
They're 6-5
What do you mean? He turned them around.
They're not terrible.
This year they sucked.
This year, but when he came back to them, he took them to an ACC championship game. I mean, an ACC championship game for UNC football, not basketball. I think he did a really good job with them. I disagree with you. What I found interesting and very respectful, I guess, to Mac Brown, this announcement is bizarre because he's going to coach in this regular season final game against NC State. Yep. He may not coach in their bowl game. There's no decision yet. So that is odd. I guess it's kind of like a respect thing to him, but it's also very weird.
I hope this is it, though. Just go into, as we talked about,
Belichick.
Go into pasture.
What do you have against Mac Brown?
Nothing.
It's college. Like, if he does well.
Enough recycling guys that are 70-plus years old.
I agree with you, man.
He did well for them.
It's an interesting time in college football. We're getting into that kind of awkward zone where you don't know if NFL potential draft picks are going to play. You don't know if coaches that are changing teams are going to coach. It's getting really weird. We're coming down to the nitty-gritty in college football.
Mac Brown is number 8 all-time FBS coaching wins. Joe Paterno 1, Bobby Bowden 2. Brian Kelly's just ahead of him. Brian Kelly's going to keep moving up that list. Brian Kelly's going to pass Nick Saban in 2 wins. Or he's going to tie him in 2 wins. He'll pass him in 3. That's crazy.
Mac Brown's career really was at Texas. And after that, look, he's a legendary coach, but it's time to go.
Yeah, and I think there was a lot of speculation he would go, and he is going.
Hey, guys, you been keeping up with the NBA Cup at all?
Yeah, we were talking about it.
Who cares about the stupid cup?
I'm not keeping up with the cup. I'm keeping up with the games. But the court, you can tell it's a different game because the court, I think it looks stupid.
The gimmick sucks. The Lakers won it last year. What did that mean? Nothing. They stink.
I know. I put one of my bets yesterday for the people was the Lakers winning because I have a theory. The Suns got back Kevin Durant. And anytime a big player comes back, I think it screws the flow of the offense because you try to get him involved. I was wrong.
Lakers lost by like 20-something.
27.
Yeah. Lakers just lost. They went 6-0 last year in the Cup. They started out 2-0 this year. They just lost yesterday, putting their chance to repeat as champions in dire jeopardy. And to close out the blender today, I'll go ahead and update you on what games we have on Thanksgiving and Black Friday. Of course, we got Bears at Lions at 12:30 tomorrow. That one's on CBS. Giants at Cowboys on Fox at 4:30 p.m. And then Dolphins at Packers at 8:20 p.m. on NBC. And don't forget about college football, man. We got one of those, too, at 7:30 p.m. on ESPN tomorrow. Memphis taking on number 17 Tulane. Both of those teams are 9-2. That's a big matchup right there.
And Black Friday game, Vegas taking on the Chiefs. Tomorrow's games, honestly, I think Miami, we said it, Miami Green Bay is the best one. The Giants-Dallas could be so bad that it's good. Does that make sense?
If you put money on a game, even as little as like maybe $5 to make it interesting, may I just say give me 10 seconds?
No, because your phone keeps dinging.
There's no dinging. No dinging.
A lot of dinging.
Anyway.
Almost to the end. You got this, Jake.
Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this, Goons. You, Aaron, Pat, Casey, and all of course, iHeart. And thanks to Publix, short notice. I tell them I'm going on the air. They go for it.
Thanks to Publix.
Yeah,
thank you, Publix, despite some of the turmoil we've had, me and you, in the past with the deli. But that's okay. That's okay. We're getting through it. I still go there. I still go there every day to get a sandwich. They're the best. They're the best sandwiches ever. And I had the best sandwich maker of all time the other day.
I heard that.
She was awesome.
She didn't have to have the wrath of Aaron.
No. Well, I'm hangry into pie. Can't go into Publix hungry. That's my new rule because I get hangry. The Blender on the Pat and Aaron Show presented by Mazda of Clearwater. Check them out, MazdaofClearwater.com. Got my new Mazda 3. I'm very excited about it. Everyone, have a great Thanksgiving. Be safe. Enjoy whoever you're with. Be thankful like we are. I'm thankful to you. Thanks to all the goons so far. We're coming close to the end of the year for making this an awesome year.